Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
It's hay time with Kubota hay equipment from Gray Brothers, like quality-built Kubota disc hay mowers known for their durability and beautiful cut. Kubota hay rakes and, of course, the BV Series Kubota round baler. Couple it with Kubota's M Series cab tractor with 75 to 168 horsepower, and you'll have the prettiest hay on the market. With savings from Gray Brothers and special financing from Kubota, today is your day for a new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Championship caliber teams like the Razorbacks rely on proven performers. So do smart businesses. That's why Datamax proudly partners with Kyocera Office Technology, recognized by Keypoint Intelligence for delivering the industry's most consistent color performance. Kyocera is built for reliability, security, and results you can count on. Combined with the local service and support you've trusted for years, it's a winning combination for your business. Datamax, relevant technology, raving results.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see sunny skies, slight chance of a shower or storm. Our high temperatures today will be close to 100 degrees, mainly clear, low 70s tonight. And then we're not going to be as hot on Wednesday. Lots of sunshine, upper 80s to low 90s, mid to upper 80s on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 46 days. On ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
Now we got to be together to win this dadgum game. Now let's go over some things. Listen to me.
Touchdown Arkansas. Oh my. And Jones jumps up and slams the football over the goalpost.
We're going to show the hogs with our back, and we're getting ready because winning knocking at the door.
Said you had very motivational words at halftime.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
I got a question for number 9. The wild wilderness of halftime.
Sports talk that doesn't sound like everyone else.
You're going to learn real quick about me.
Tacos.
I love being competitive.
We're going to be friends forever.
It's halftime with Alyssa Orange.
Hey, Hunter can call in if he wants to. I'd love to talk to him.
Colton Little.
That's on me. I thought he was a better producer.
And Razorback legend Matt Jones.
It's wild about Matt Jones.
Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. New energy, new perspective, same obsession. This is halftime.
Bookman halftime on this Tuesday. Alyssa Orange, Matt Jones, and Colton Little with you. Good to be with you here on this Tuesday. Guys, how we doing back in the studio?
Hey, happy SEC Media Days.
That's right.
Happy Tuesday. It's the summer. I finally felt the first day of summer, Alyssa, yesterday when I got home from work. No soccer and no soccer to look forward to. It's just the countdown to the start of the Razorback. So
that's right.
The World Cup was such a great reprieve for me because there was always something going on, and now I finally feel like I'm in the middle of the summer.
Like as in like you can relax?
The dog days. No, like
okay.
like you're just kind of like, ugh, it's
The
hot.
breathing, yeah.
Okay.
I can't do anything. Why? I can't go out and do stuff when it's 112 degrees out.
miserable.
Yeah, I can't.
That's
do
right.
anything.
That's right, man. You walk outside now. I'm not going to complain because, you know, I got palm trees and beautiful ocean in the bay and all those things. But this Florida humidity don't mess around. I'm telling you what, down here at SEC Media Days, it's nice to be inside and air conditioning. You learn quick. You're like, whew, That's a lot. It's about a 10-minute walk from where we're at in the Marriott to where we're staying.
They got
at the
those
Hilton.
scooters you can check out. You know,
They
those
do.
are pretty cool
They
sometimes.
do. But I made the mistake today. So Ty and I, we get up, we eat breakfast, we walk over here. We're about to walk into the hotel, and I realize I left my lanyard with my media credential.
Oh,
Rookie move, right?
Nick
Like I'm
Saban
better
learned
than
the
that,
hard way. Yeah.
right? So I'm like, well, I got to go back again. I'm not Nick Saban. They're not just going to let me in here, right? So I have to go all the way back. So I walk all the way back, grab my credential, and walk all the way over here. And I'm like, I get here and I'm just sweating. And I'm just like, I got to get my body temperature down. Like, I'm sweating. It's just walking back and forth in this Florida heat.
What's good for you? They say that's one of the best things you can do is sweat it out.
Well, there you go.
I definitely
I don't need
sweated
it.
more than I wanted to yesterday. Did a little stuff out in the yard when I got home, and it was like, what am I doing right now? I'll either wake up early in the morning or I'll do it late at night. There's no reason to be doing yard work at 4 in the afternoon.
There you go. I just, I got a full face of makeup on though. I didn't really want to sweat that out, right? I spent way too much time this morning painting my face to sweat it off on the hike back and forth, but that's okay. Excited to be here at SEC Media Days in Tampa, Florida, and we got to hear from a handful of coaches yesterday, today. Auburn, Georgia, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt all taking the podium today. Auburn and Georgia kind of finishing their rounds. They were the morning shift. All 4 teams on Arkansas' schedule. We've talked a lot about South Carolina and Vanderbilt, Matt. When you look at what those 2 teams bring to the table, we've talked about it before. They could be wins for the Razorbacks in the SEC this year.
Man, that's pretty cool that all 4 of those teams. I guess what my question would be, is there something you want to find out about South Carolina this year? Is there something you want to find out about Vanderbilt that we can learn now before we get time? Because that's what you want to know. The teams that are on our schedule, who's the quarterback at Vanderbilt going to be? The quarterback at South Carolina is probably the second best athlete in the league behind Marcel Reed. Maybe he's first. I don't know how you want to do it, but as far as the athletic quarterbacks, who is the best quarterback in the league? Is it the kid at Ole Miss that's going on his 6th year that we don't play this? You start looking around. I think you have to have a decent quarterback if you want to win some games. Who's the running back at those schools? Is Vanderbilt going to be the oldest team in the conference like they were the year before? South Carolina's been on this. They're up and down. They're high, they're low. Are they going to be high again this year? Or are they going to be back low? So there's a lot of questions you want to know, because it's hard to rebuild and reload in the way this portal is. But yeah, man, that's a good. And then Auburn, aren't they kind of going through the same thing we're going through right now?
They are. Well,
Who's their
Alex.
Quarterback? Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And Alex Golish walking around doing his media rounds here at SEC Media Days as first-year head coach for the Tigers. And you're absolutely right. Like, their quarterback position, I think, is a big question mark on what they're going to do over there at Auburn, because their starter from a year ago now at my alma mater, I got no idea what he's going to bring to the table for the Seminoles. But Auburn's still got a lot of questions to answer. But I think a lot of people are just talking about what these new coaches in the league are going to bring to all of their respective programs. Ryan Silverfield, obviously, at Arkansas, Alex Golish at Auburn, John Summerall at Florida, and Will Stein at Kentucky. So, Kentucky, they had their day yesterday. We're going to hear, like I mentioned, from Summerall tomorrow, and then from Silverfield on Thursday. So that's always the big draw, is these new coaches that come into the league and how they handle themselves in their real big first media appearance in the SEC.
Man, I'm getting the closer we get, I'm getting excited about it. I keep eyeballing, Alyssa. It kind of goes to you got to go 3-1 in your first 4 games. You got to have a little confidence. Is this the year you beat A&M and Missouri in the same year? Can you split with those 2 teams? Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Auburn, South Carolina. Man, I don't think either one of those 4 teams make the college football playoff. I mean, those should be games that we should be able to be in. Can we not be 10-34 in our last, in our 1-score games? Can we kind of change that narrative? Can we hold on to the football? Are we going to be physical? There's all these things that you're changing a regime that you hope you can get fixed. Man, there's some winnable. Right now, you're looking at it. I don't think we beat Texas. I don't think we beat LSU. I don't think we beat Georgia. I don't think we beat A&M. I think all 4 of those games are L's. If we find a way to win one of those, that's what Coach Nutt always did. He found a way to win one of those. We haven't done that a lot lately. Coach Pittman had that 1 year where we beat a couple teams, but that's it. So can we find a way to win a game you're not supposed to win? and then take care of business on some of those games.
Yep.
And I'm not sitting here and talking like it's easy, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But
Sure.
that's kind of the vision. That's kind of what you see, man. That October slate right there that goes into September on the 7th and the 14th right there. I mean, I'm sorry, November. Those are that can make or break your season, but it starts with that September 12th game at Utah.
Yeah,
You
I think you're
gotta
absolutely
win that
right.
game.
Absolutely right. Well, hey, you talk about, what could be a game that Arkansas is not supposed to win that they could potentially win. I think that's a great conversation for Tony Barnhart. We're going to have him on the show coming up later on today. Has been covering college football for decades, and excited to have him
Mr.
here to
College
pick his brain. That's right. Pick his brain on what he thinks about the Razorbacks and Ryan Silverfield. We also have a good friend of mine, Chessa Boucher, who has been covering LSU for years down there at LA First News. She's going to sit here and talk to us about the Tigers. And then my good friend David Nuno, who is with Tex Ags. And I've told him that I picked the Aggies, unfortunately, to win the SEC. That's my pick, and I'm sticking to it. He says I'm a jinx. We'll see how he feels about it, but I think that's another question, too, for him is, what does Marcel Reed bring to the table? I was listening to something that Tex Ags was talking about a couple weeks ago. Is Arkansas a trap game for the Aggies? Could be. I don't know if they're going to go down to Kyle Field and win, but you don't ever know. So I'm really excited to pick their brains today as we kind of kick things off at SEC Media Days, as well as, hear from these coaches who have been really talking about their teams. But, they always like to have some fun things to say. So there's a lot to get to today in this show, including some basketball news. And I love the way you phrase this, Colton. LeBron still teamless.
Yeah.
At this point, I think he's just, drawing this out for as long as he can.
Well, it's very interesting. I heard Rich Paul talk a little bit about this yesterday. Rich Paul, super agent, is just very well connected, and obviously he represents LeBron James. But very interesting to think that, one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball is kind of just waiting to see how things shake out. And I think that the longer that this goes on, the more and more likely is that this may get a little bit wacky. I mean, when we first heard that he was going to be a free agent, we all gave our predictions. It was going to be one of two places more than likely. Back in Miami to reunite the Heatles, or, back to Akron to, put a pretty bow on the end of his career. But as we go later on throughout this whole saga, it's just very interesting to see that maybe it could be a curveball coming our way. But honestly, I mean, it's not the biggest story right now, but it is one of the best basketball players of all time, and he's at the end of his career. So very interesting that we just haven't heard a lot about it yet. And time is of the essence for one Mr. King James.
Yeah, I think it was funny. Did you see the other day he was talking about how, his daughter is playing a role and talking to her and
yeah.
And I'm just like, what are we doing, LeBron? And I get it. I mean, family is a big deal, but if that's the case, I mean, why not stay in LA? That's where your family currently is right now. I don't know. Again, I am not LeBron. I don't get to make those kind of decisions. But at some point, you're like, okay, enough is enough, guy. Let's go ahead and pick a team.
My thoughts on it are,
opinion.
I'll always stick with what Joakim Noah once said. Nobody wants to go vacation in Cleveland. It's not. So I don't know why he picked there, but I think that's how it's going to
Well,
end
home
up.
is Akron is
Home is
home,
home.
So sometimes you got that fondness for home in your heart that you sometimes, just it is what it is. Nothing you can do about it, right? You know what I mean?
That's right. Nobody can make fun of where I'm from unless it's me, because it's just not fair.
Are you sure? That's
No.
true.
Anybody comes on
That's
here
true.
and makes fun of where I'm from, it's not allowed, unless you're
Yeah.
from there too, and then we'll just go
That's
back
right.
and forth.
That's right. Yeah, you go get them. You go get them, Colton. You let them know. You let them know. Hey, by the way, as we continue to roll on here on halftime, we just want to make sure that you stay up to date. If you miss any of the show, well, you've got one place to find it. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to your podcast and find our podcast on the Hit That Line app or hitthatline.com, powered by Taco Bell. Also, don't forget to rate, review, and share. Download the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast, the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast, and the 479 Equipment Ruskin and Zach podcast, all part of the Hit That Line podcast network. We're going to hear from the coaches who have spoken here at SEC Media Days in Tampa coming up after the break.
We are live at SEC Media Days in Tampa, Florida. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback next to Baumwalker, the largest and best Razorback shop south of the North Pole. Whether your needs are for tailgating, game day, man cave decorations, and dorm room stuff, it doesn't get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Local, family, alumni owned and operated. Shop online at shoponrazorback.com. The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Matt Jones, Alyssa Orange, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful. Not when you work with Tara Limbird and the Limbird Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LimbIrdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Spring is here, and it's the perfect time to upgrade your home. If your garage door needs repair or you're ready for a new look, call Precision Garage Door. From broken springs and openers to brand new doors, they provide expert service and professional installation. Fully licensed and insured, with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers, and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call 844-PDS-DOOR or visit PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Precision Garage Door, voted the best in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
In Arkansas, cancers of the lung, breast, prostate, and colon are the leading cause of cancer deaths. Yet simple screenings can save lives, helping doctors find and treat cancer early. If you have a family history of cancer, you need to start screenings even earlier, because cancer screenings can never come too soon, only too late. To learn more, visit cancer.uams.edu. Sponsored by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and UAMS.
The Crane Team is your home for all your automotive needs in the River Valley. With 2 big Crane, Kia, and Hyundai locations in Fort Smith, the Crane Team has the perfect vehicle for you. From pickup and delivery to service after the sale, plus our famous huge Crane Cash discounts. The Crane Team simply can't be beat. Shop Arkansas's largest selection of Kia Tellurides, Hyundai Palisades, Sorrentos, Tucsons, and more. Visit us today or shop online at craneteam.com.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
You know your business. I know the fans. Together, we're a championship roster. In Arkansas, loyalty is everything, and nobody connects with the Razorback faithful like our team here at ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. When you partner with us at ESPN Arkansas, you're not just buying airtime, you're gaining trusted voices that talk to your customers every single day. I'm Ty Richardson. Let's grow your business together, both on air and through digital avenues. Become a partner at ESPN Arkansas. Email ty.richardson@HitThatLine.com to start your campaign today.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 2 can be as bad as 1. It's the loneliest number since the number 1. No is the saddest experience you'll ever know. Yes, it's the saddest experience you'll ever know.
Welcome back to halftime with Alyssa Orange, Colton Little, and Razorback legend Matt Jones. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Now let's get back to halftime with Arkansas football legend Matt Jones, Thalissa Orange, and Colton Little.
Ryan's done a really good job when he was at Memphis, and now I was at UCF, had familiarity with him, and then, his track record since I've left there, he's got familiarity in the footprint, smart, organized, and has gotten his guys to play at a really high level.
That was Tennessee's Josh Heupel on Ryan Silverfield. A lot of these guys asked about the new coaches in the league and the kind of success they think they have. Arkansas and Tennessee meeting later on in the middle of the season, one of those games that's still kind of a little bit of a question mark when we've talked about this season, Matt. So you look at Heupel. And a lot of guys, there's a lot of respect, right, in the coaching ranks for these guys. And obviously they're not going to say anything bad about Silverfield in front of a bunch of media members at SEC Media Days. But it is good to kind of hear the perspective of guys who've coached around guys or against guys over the years. I think for Silverfield, and I said this yesterday, we have these media events. And so I was over there talking to some other people in the media. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Don't come in here guns a-blazing, but I'd like Ryan Silverfield to kind of put people on notice in the media room. Like, why? Yeah, like it's Thursday.
Yeah.
It is the last day. You're also in an opposite an opposite rotation with Lane Kiffin. I don't see anything that isn't going to help you if you walk into this building and make people sit up a little bit straighter in the big media room and say, okay, Ryan Silverfield, that's the head ball coach at Arkansas.
I see exactly what you're saying. I think it's you have. I mean, I think he does that so far. He's done that at least in Arkansas with the media. I think you have to be a little careful. You won 0 games last year, and you're taking over a team that everybody laughs at. Nobody cared. I mean, Mississippi State came to your home turf and beat you. Like you haven't done anything. So until you've done something, it's kind of hard to sit here and say, "Hey, look at me." But yeah, there's nothing wrong with having confidence and swagger, and believing in your ability and believing in yourself and believing in your team. I don't know. He's got a tough job. He's got a really tough job when you look at it that way, because people will kind of look at that and be like, well, who is this dude? And I know he's had success where he's gone. I like him. Like we've said, I'm a Coach Silverfield fan. I don't know what the right words are then. What are the words you're supposed to say that are right? And the thing that I do think you have to be as a leader, Alyssa, you can lead in different ways, but you have to be authentic, and you have to have conviction. Like those are just givens to be a leader. You have to have conviction, and you have to be authentic.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think you're absolutely right. And you think about like Brett Bielema. I remember being at SEC Media Days, my very first SEC Media Days, his first year at Arkansas, and he walked in because Bielema's got this bigger than life persona, and it was like, that's the dude who is the head coach of the University of Arkansas, because that's just who he was. That was his personality.
Wasn't the first thing he said? The first thing he said, "Look at my wife. Of course, I can recruit 5 stars."
Something, yeah,
like
exactly.
like a joke like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yep, he just got married.
Is this a bridge too far? Because you talk about having confidence, going up there. He's got a very tall task ahead of him. They asked Will Stein a question very similar to what I'm sure they'll ask Ryan Silverfield yesterday. He gave a very interesting answer that I think is maybe some of the moxie you're looking for, but I want to know if you think this may be a little too far.
I'm here because you can believe you can win here. Why is that? Kentucky historically has fought against a narrative, against perception. Why do you think you can win big here?
This is going to sound like really, I think because of me, to be honest. I think because of me.
I freaking love it. I think it's
great. What did Colton say yesterday
because of me
that I think is very true? You got to have the right coach before you can do anything.
Yep.
You got to have the right ball coach.
I'm sorry. And I think that Will Stein stepped in here and kind of came with a little bit of that swagger. Look, we all know what he's up against, right? Not only is he taken over a team that has struggled, but at the same time, you're at a basketball school, and we know that the resources are only going to be so much for a football program. But that's the kind of attitude you want to have. And I think you go back to even like Eli Drinkowitz, and we're going to play something from him. When he took over at Mizzou, He came to SEC Media Days, and he just was a goofball. And it was kind of like, oh, he's up there cracking jokes.
But he
he's
was
kind of being
authentic.
goofy, but authentic.
Mhm.
And honestly, everyone looks forward to Eli Drinkowitz coming to this event every single year because he's going to be funny and he's going to crack jokes and he's going to say stuff. But he set that tone the first day that he stepped into SEC Media Days when he took over Missouri. That's what I'm talking about. Like, set the tone for yourself. Kind of, win people over a little bit. I just, I want to walk away being like, Ryan Silverfield just killed that at SEC Media Days instead of like, I mean, that was okay. That was a bunch of coach speak, nothing new.
One of the things that he's prioritized there in Missouri is his defensive line. Brady Cook, he's had a good quarterback, but the running game and being physical.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you do when you're not Georgia, you're not Texas. You can still do that at Alabama and LSU and Georgia, but when you're not getting the 5 stars, the 4 stars everywhere, what you can do, control what you control, but you can get a running game.
Yeah.
And then you have a chance to win. And I like some of this. I know there's, you can say whatever you want to about Drinkowitz, but you know what he's done? He's changed that narrative of that program, and he's a winner. Isn't that what you want at Arkansas?
Yeah, exactly. I want you to play this John Wayne clip for me, Colton, if you can, from Drink.
I'm not sure that his riding horses was part of the recovery protocol that his surgeon had in place. But hell, John Wayne rode after he'd been shot. He turned out all right. So Ahmad Hardy's trying the same approach.
Running back. Another running back
there
that's
you
a
go.
beast.
Another stud.
Yeah.
So he gave an Ahmad Hardy update. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, obviously having that accident, getting shot in the offseason, going through recovery. But he makes the joke, the good news is he's going to be back for Missouri if you're, a Missouri fan. And really for him, too, in his career. Going to be back. Rehab's going really well. But made a joke that he's been doing riding horses. And it was like, well, I don't really actually know if that's part of the recovery protocol, but it's helping him.
Hey, when's the last time you rode a horse? Tell me that your inner does not get your legs aren't tired for 3 days after that.
Sure.
It's like doing surf. It's like being on the surf. Your core work, the thing it is, right? If you're really riding a horse, that's good for you, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
I haven't ridden a horse.
It's
in
been
a
over
while.
a decade since I have.
Yeah,
but I just remember how I was sore for 3 days after I rode a horse. Yeah.
Yeah, but over the weekend when I was out at the Lewis Automotive Group doing a remote for the PBR, I sat on the horse, took a photo.
Yeah.
Not the same. I mean, but it takes
Did
a
you
lot
make
of
it 8
left.
seconds? Yeah.
I mean, no, I didn't get on the
Oh, we
pole.
weren't okay.
Oh no, I'm not trying to die.
Either.
No, I just sat on the horse and took a photo, but it takes some leg strength to just get up on the horse.
Some text here coming in out of the 479 and also from Brent in Kentucky wanting to weigh in here on what Coach Silverfield can do to, maybe stir the pot a little bit, come out hot. He said, come in hot like Signetti, the Indiana coach who said last year, Google me, I win.
Well, here's the deal. That he's not wrong, though.
No, of course not.
Like Signetti wasn't wrong.
You can't really Google Ryan Silverfield. I mean, you can.
Not right now.
I mean, Wikipedia,
It's
it's got
a little
some good
different.
stuff on there. I did it the other day. It's got some good stuff on there. Text from
Sure.
Brent in Kentucky. All Silverfield has to do is say, I chose the job to beat Arkansas. I know its history. I see its potential, and the record will speak for itself. But I think we're going to win in Arkansas, and I'm going to work to prove it. Brent, you should send that up to the people that are drafting his speech for Thursday. That's a good line. I like that.
Yeah, I think that you just want to be able to make the national media and Arkansas media just feel good about what you're trying to implement with the Razorbacks and win a few more games than 2. Make them feel a little better.
A little bit.
Just a little better. Baby steps.
Baby.
We don't need to shoot for the moon. You don't need to win a national championship. Just a little bit better.
You got to
Baby
go up there
steps.
and you got to go up there and be hungry, Alyssa. You're absolutely right. And,
Yeah.
Speaking of hungry, guys, I'm going to
Ooh.
be at Hardee's today. It's the Monster Burger Challenge
Oh,
again,
man.
time again. I'm going to be up there at Hardee's today, 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, Rogers Avenue. I'll be there. It's the Monster Burger Eating Contest brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. We will be at a location today, and I'll be there from 4 to 6 o'clock today. You can listen daily and make sure that you're going to be there today, and you have a chance to qualify to win the football trip of a lifetime. All you have to do is finish a Monster Burger in less than 150 seconds to qualify. And then once you qualify, you'll get to come back on August. I think it's the 20th, 22nd maybe. Sometime in August, we'll have the
22nd is Saturday.
Yes, that's correct. So the 22nd of August, so that Saturday, we will have our final that day. It's going to be fantastic. And then the winner there will be sent out to Vegas to watch the Chiefs and the Raiders in a fantastic football matchup, National Football League action all the way out there in Las Vegas, completely on ESPN Arkansas and Hardee's Dime. So come out today to Hardee's on Rogers Avenue, 4 to 6 p.m. I'll be there, and you can qualify for a chance to win the football trip of a lifetime.
Best of luck to you.
Yeah, best of luck.
We had a qualifier last week, I believe.
Just know that when I'm there, I don't encourage you whatsoever. I heckle you. So just know that.
And
of
he
course,
hisses a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like you can boo, but don't hiss.
Don't hiss. I never hiss. Just a solid, strong boo and a thumbs down.
Oh, don't boo anybody.
Hey.
What did yeah, what did Balogun say? He said I was taught not to boo. Didn't he say that? Oh no, it was wrong sport. It was all-star home run hitting contest guy. He was like they were booing him.
Oh,
at
Jordan
Philly Park.
Crawford?
Jordan Walker.
The
and
Cardinal.
he was told I was raised not to boo.
Hey, that's what Paula J. When I was growing, anything's going. If you can't say, I know it's cliche, but it's true. If you're not going to say anything nice, just don't even say anything at all.
There you go. There you go. Well, we're going to talk some LSU football.
Oh,
Arkansas,
I can't say anything
LSU,
nice
the
about
battle.
that. Oh my goodness.
Battle of the boot, ending the regular season again for the first time in a long time. Chesa Boucher going to join us here after the break.
Alyssa, you're going to be my favorite host because I had a sister named Alyssa.
This is halftime.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. This is Matt.
This is Raleigh, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
We are the only family, alumni, and locally owned Razorback store. We went to school here. We live here. We get what every Razorback logo means.
Plus, we're the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, and almost every item that comes into our store has our stamp of approval. We want the best graphic on the best items, and that's what sets us apart.
Whether it's pennants, fan cave items, or other clothing, we take the time to get it right.
Hey, Dad, do you know what they call a pallbearer from Tulsa?
No, what?
Karaoke.
Matt, that's my job to do the dad joke.
Well, you said you were going to retire someday, so I should start practicing.
Anyway, you can stop by the Stadium Shop at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum Walker Stadium.
Or you can call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Or if you can't get to Fayetteville, you can check us out on the Googleator at shoponrazorback.com.
Dad, you actually got most of that right. How'd you do that?
Well, if you're going to do the dad joke, then I need to step up my Googleator knowledge.
There's no hope for you, is there? Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors is having a good old summertime sale on all summer clothing. Save up to 50% off on select Ariat, Burlebo, Drake, Habit, Hook, Local Boy, and Wrangler clothing. Check out the best deal in town on Ariat and Wrangler blue jeans. Buy 2 pair, get a 3rd free. Bow hunters, come see us for getting your bow ready. Great deals on Elite, Hoyt, and Matthews bows. Close out the summer with savings at Jelco Outdoors. Remember, work, fish, hunt. That's what we do at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful. Not when you work with Tara Limbird and the Limbird Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Terra's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Terra's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You think the people would have had a silly love song? But I look around me and I see it isn't so. Some people wanna fill the world with silly love songs. What's wrong with that? I'd like to know. 'Cause here I go.
To halftime with Alyssa Orange, Colton Little, and Razorback legend Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Join Lewis Automotive as they celebrate America's 250th celebration with the Pick One event, where it's your choice of a $250 gas card, an Arctic cooler, or a 2-year maintenance plan with the purchase of any new or used vehicle. Let's get back to the show with Matt Jones, Alyssa Orange, and Colton Little.
Welcome back to the show here, SEC Media Days in Tampa. And one of my favorite things, guys, about being at this event is seeing all of the beautiful, familiar faces that I haven't seen in a really long time and reconnecting with some of my favorite people in the industry, including Chessa Boucher. Chessa has been covering LSU for how long now? How have you been down there?
I think it's almost 9 years.
9 years. Yeah, man, I tell you what. Chessa and I used to work together in the Next Star world and run into each other all the time. You know, you look at Arkansas and LSU and the record right now, completely lopsided. LSU has won this meeting 44 times, Arkansas just 24 times. So you've had a much more enjoyable experience in those games than I necessarily have. But it is a huge offseason for you guys with Lane Kiffin rolling into town. Can we just go back to the day that happened real fast and just walk me through your thought process when all of that was happening in Baton Rouge?
Dude, it was so absolutely insane. And if you go back and think about it, before Brian Kelly gets fired, LSU goes to Oxford to play Lane Kiffin. It's a top 15 matchup. LSU's ranked number 3 in the country. They're 4-0. Brian Kelly finally got over the hump of winning the season opener. Tiger fans are like, this is the year we're going to do it. And then they run into the Lane train, and he essentially set that trajectory for Brian Kelly and, you know, ends up getting fired midway through the season. I'll be honest, on a Sunday, I had a rare Sunday off, and Brian, my boss, you know, Brian, he texted me on Saturday. He's like, things might be in the works on Sunday. And I was like, okay. So I went and got some Mexican food. I got a margarita to go, and I went home, and I was in my PJs, and I was like, I'm about to pop open this margarita, and sure enough, Brian texted me. I was like, for the love of God. So I had to leave my frozen margarita in the refrigerator and go cover and sit outside the operations building for 2.5 hours doing live shots with Brian Kelly leaving, and it was just like, oh my God, they actually did it because of his buyout being so big that we're like, maybe they'll let him ride this out. And they were like, nope, absolutely not. They fired the offensive coordinator, Joe Sloan, and then Brian Kelly. And then it was just like, who do they bring in? And it was kind of in the works about Lane Kiffin. I was like, but is he trolling us? Like, is he really going to come? So until the day he literally was announced and we saw the Kiffin jersey, I was like, he's not really coming. Like, this is going to be a joke. This is not real life. I really, truly thought that. And I don't know if you know this, but I went to Ole Miss for undergrad. I was supposed to play basketball there. It didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. So I have ties to both places. And so I watched Ole Miss from afar because I appreciate Lane Kiffin. I think he's a great offensive-minded coach. But I was like, man, the damage he could do at LSU with the offense that he brings could be scary. And so now we're going to find out year one on the Bayou, and it could either go really good or really bad.
You talk about the fact that you've watched Lane Kiffin from afar. So what does Lane Kiffin in Baton Rouge look like?
He is nothing that I expected. I will tell you, the trolling on social media I loved as a fan just because I didn't have to cover it, but then it gets a little spicy when you can't really say a whole lot because he says too much, and so you have to kind of rein it in. So that's been an adjustment, but he has been very forthcoming. He's been great with the media. When you ask him a question, he has his point to drive home, but he also gives such a different perspective. Brian Kelly was very PC, and I'm going to tell you what I think you should know, and I feel like Lane Kiffin kind of navigates it different, and so I think you get a better understanding. But again, it's learning a new coaching staff, a new head coach, a new system. I will tell you, the first day of spring practice, I go out there and I'm ready, to see. I almost get trucked on the sideline because they're going the 2-minute drill and it is so fast. I'm like, holy moly. And it gives me flashbacks to 2019 LSU, that offense. I'm not comparing them to that team because we don't even know what they're going to look like this fall, much less, the first year. But it is such a high-powered offense, and they go so fast, and it's so efficient. The way that he runs his program, it's almost like an NFL franchise. Everything has a purpose. It is very deliberate, and I think he also keeps it fun. And I think that's kind of the difference of Brian Kelly. He was a scream fest, red face, in just yelling nonstop. But Brian Kelly didn't spend a whole lot of time in the building, and that was the biggest knock, is that Brian Kelly said he was committed and even gave $1 million for this roster and NIL at LSU, so he was in it. I just didn't think he had the work ethic to be successful at an LSU. He thought it was going to kind of do it itself. I think Lane Kiffin is hungry and has something to prove, so he's willing to put in the hours, and I think you're seeing kind of the difference just in the shift from what BK did to now what Lane Kiffin's doing.
Hey, Jessa, Matt Jones here. We just went through something very similar with the rock star and John Calipari coming to coach this Arkansas basketball team, and you're kind of pinching yourself. Same thing. Lane Kiffin's a rock star. I think reasonable expectations for John Calipari. He won an SEC tournament. 2 Final Fours in a decade would be reasonable, where you'd be like, it's success. What's going to be success over the next 8 years, 10 years if Lane Kiffin's the head coach at LSU? Does he have to win a national championship, or is it, hey, let's say he wins two SEC championships and makes the college football playoff 4 or 5 times but never wins one? Would it still be a success? What do you think reasonable expectations are for Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, absolutely not. I think you have to win a national championship. If you know anything about South Louisiana, especially Baton Rouge, if you're not winning a national championship, they're going to hate you and they're going to let you know. And I love it and I hate it because I've worked in Texas, I've worked in Mississippi, I'm from Louisiana, I've been at Ole Miss for 5 years when I was there in school, and so you see the fan base, and there's not a hungrier fan base, and one that, because there's been so much success winning national championships, you had Les Miles win a national championship, you had Ed Ogeron win a national championship, Brian Kelly didn't get it done. But I feel like Lane Kiffin came to LSU because he's like, hey, if these guys could win it, I'm definitely primed and I can do it. And I think he's putting in the work. I'm interested to see how this roster shakes out. You have a ton of talent. You paid over $40 million for it. You should have, you should have what it takes to get it done. And it's crazy because I was talking to somebody here. Lane Kiffin has built his programs at Ole Miss that have been successful through the transfer portal. So he has something going on where they build chemistry and they play together and they buy in. There's such a buy-in factor that I didn't really see from Brian Kelly, but again, Brian Kelly didn't spend a ton of time in the building. I think Lane has the right coaches and the right guys in play, and they are big on the athletes being, 5-star athletes, but also being good human beings, and I think that helps build chemistry and the camaraderie that you need to be successful and to have a winning program. So I think Lane Kiffin, he's going to win a national championship there. Now, how fast he does it, that's the biggest question. And I think if you don't make the college football playoffs this year, you're going to be on the hot seat. He's not going anywhere, but you're going to be on the hot seat because they expect to win national championships. If you put in $40 million, you got to belly up. Yep.
Yeah.
Chessa Boucher is our guest here on Halftime. She's a veteran reporter for LA First News covering the Bayou Bengals down there in Louisiana. Chessa, this is Colton Little. I do have to ask, not only Lane Kiffin joining the Bayou Bengals down there in LSU, but also Will Wade coming back into town as well. That puts a collection of head coaches up there between men's and women's basketball and college football, that three of the more polarizing figures in all of their sports.
And I would say Orgeron's polarizing too.
Adding Orgeron as
Ed.
well. I feel like from the outside perspective, Chessa, that LSU and their fan base and Louisianans, people that root for the purple and gold, they kind of relish taking on this villain role per sense of these people that have maybe had some lane left some bad wake in their past for jobs they've left previously. I feel like the LSU fan base kind of relishes that. Am I off base on that at all?
Oh, no, you are on point 100%. They love it. They don't care. They're winning national championships in baseball. I've told somebody before because they always ask me, they're like, why are you still in Baton Rouge? I'm like, bruh, I've covered 5 national championships. I've covered.
Please tell us what that's like.
I know, right? Like, I get spoiled, and I get to go and do it and cover it, and it's not just in one program, and it's in multiple programs. I think it is absolutely insane that you have a Kim Mulkey, you have a Will Wade, who is the absolute devil of men's college basketball right now. That's what everybody outside of the state of Louisiana thinks. And then you have Lane Kiffin, who everybody hates because how dirty and gross it was when he left Ole Miss the way that he did. It is absolutely insane to have that three-headed monster. And I think Tiger fans, they like it. They like the attention, good or bad. They always say good press, bad press, it doesn't matter as long as you're in the headlines. And that's kind of how LSU has been on every level. And they love it. They love the attention regardless if it's good or bad.
We've talked about the quarterback room a little bit around the SEC and guys coming back. LSU adds Sam Levitt. You haven't been able to see him. We were talking about it. You haven't really been able to see him coming off a recovering injury. But what do they think Sam Levitt can do to make this LSU offense successful?
I think Sam Levitt is the quarterback that fits perfectly into this Lane Kiffin, Charlie Weiss offense. He is mobile. Hopefully he'll be mobile in the same quarterback that we saw at Arizona State when he helped with the college football playoff run that they had. He has a great arm and he has great vision. Other than that, I haven't seen him again in person, but I think he fits the mold, and you need that type of quarterback to be successful. So, I mean, there was a little it was kind of crazy how everything unfolded because Sam came and visited at LSU, and they didn't think that he left kind of not on great terms and was flying out to go visit in Tennessee. And then Lane Kiffin found out about it and was like, oh, heck no. So Lane literally left Baton Rouge, goes and meets Sam Levitt in the airport in Knoxville, the same Knoxville airport that they've had drama there before when he was the head coach there. And so to me, it just shows that Lane was like, nah, bro, you're not leaving this place until I get a yes, you're coming to Baton Rouge. So I think that speaks volumes of that was the guy that he wanted. He got his quarterback. He'll fit the system. He just needs to be healthy. So hopefully he's healthy and ready to go and you don't see any kind of, residuals from his injury.
Last question. Arkansas and LSU do this rotation on Thursday together. Oof. What are you expecting from Lane Kiffin on Thursday?
Oof. Everybody asks me that because Lane, he's either like dry and kind of dull or he's like next level. And so to me, I think it all depends on what happens with Ole Miss tomorrow. I think if Pete Golding has kind of the shots fired, Lane Kiffin's not going to back down from that. But if they're more on the PC side and he doesn't really have a lot of ammunition, then maybe it'll be a little dry. But I feel like Lane's got some confidence, especially with this roster, that he might show out. And I'm hoping so because for him to go Day 4, I need some fireworks to end this bad boy.
Well, it's always a fun stretch here, and it's an exciting way to end SEC Media Days with some big names there on Thursday. It's going to be a fun one. I also think it's going to be fun. Arkansas LSU ending the regular season once again, the battle for the boot to end the regular season, and it's in Fayetteville. Yep. The last couple times you've been up there, it's been like snowy and cold. So hopefully maybe not too snowy and cold for you.
I don't do well.
But we'll give you a Fayetteville welcome when you come back up there.
Yes,
It's great to see you. Always good to talk with you. Thanks so much for the time, Chessa.
Thanks for having me.
Always remember that you can call and text us on our hotline, 877-377-6963. Got so much more to get to, including Tony Barnhart, David Nuno, and our day in review as halftime rolls on after this.
The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed a dream season.
This is halftime.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dealing with a CPAP every night? The noise, the constant cleaning. Is your wife telling you she can't take the noise anymore? Dr. Bo Sparkman at Valley Family Dental Practice, Fort Smith, can help you with sleep apnea with a custom dental appliance that allows you to get rid of that annoying CPAP. Dr. Sparkman has years of experience and has treated hundreds of patients just like you. Call for your appointment today, 226-3500. Get rid of your CPAP with Valley Family Dental at Riley Farm in Fort Smith and Roland, Oklahoma. Save up to $4,000 on in-stock 2026 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. That's $4,000 off on this top-selling midsize SUV. Or drive the brand-new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited-time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle. Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself.
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Presented by Central Hydraulics. When your equipment slows down, every minute matters. At Central Hydraulics, they keep your machines operating with the power and precision they were built for. From custom hydraulic hoses made while you wait to cylinder rebuilds, pump repairs, and hard-to-find parts. Their technicians get you solutions you need. Fast, accurate, and done right the first time. Stop by 6104 Highway 271 in Fort Smith or call 479-646-0471. Whether it's a simple hose replacement or a major hydraulic repair, they're here to keep your equipment performing. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
A little less than 10 minutes now until the top of the 12 o'clock hour. We'll be joined by Fisherman Clay Henry, as we always are on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We're live. Well, Alyssa's live up there in Tampa today at SEC Media Days. A great interview right there with Chesa Boucher that we'll just had. You can hear that later on today in the Eastside Liquor halftime podcast. And speaking of Eastside Liquor, by the way, guys, I don't know if y'all heard this. Eastside Liquor completely reopened their brand new store right next door. So don't try and get in the old building. It's locked up. You can't get in. But for all the good fans out there of one of the best liquor stores around, Eastside Liquor here in Fort Smith, right next door, brand new building. It's huge, awesome, stocked wall to wall. So go check out that as well. It's time for our Today in Review. So let's get that done here real quick, guys. Today is July 21st, 2026. I rated today a 7.7 out of 10. It's some pretty good stuff, but it's not technically a perfect day. We'll do our historical events here first. I've never been to this place, but I've always wanted to visit. Today in 1853, Central Park in New York was created when New York State Legislature put aside more than 750 acres of land on Manhattan Island. Y'all ever been to Central Park?
I have.
Yep, I have.
Yeah,
I'm sure
love
it's beautiful.
New York.
I'd
Go
love
for
to
it.
go, but I'm
You
just a country mouse. I don't get to go
No,
anywhere.
you could. That's not true.
1873, Jesse James and James Younger gang commits its first train robbery near Adair, Iowa. In 1973, 100 years later, Hammer and Hank Aaron of the Atlanta Braves hits the Philadelphia Phillies' Ken Brett's fastball, and it would end up deposited into the seats for his 700th home run. Hey, today, 1987, I may have to add this to the halftime playlist today. GNR, Guns N' Roses' debut album, Appetite for Destruction, is released and becomes one of the best-selling debut albums of all time, with more than 30 million copies sold. And then today, in 2007, me and Alyssa had a Battle of the Nerds yesterday talking about Harry Potter spells and potions and things. 2007, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, the final book in the series by J.K. Rowling, is published worldwide, and 11 million copies sell
I'm
in
pretty
24
sure I bought one of those.
hours. I have one of those copies
Yep.
as well.
What house are you in? Did we ever get to that yesterday?
I have taken multiple tests across multiple different sites, whether it be BuzzFeed,
Right.
whether it be Pottermore, whether it be whatever, and I have always came out as one of two, either a Gryffindor or a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I think everyone wanted to be a Gryffindor because that's what Harry Potter was. But here's the I'm a Slytherin.
I see
Straight
that.
up.
I see
That's
that.
it.
I can see
That's
that.
me.
And that's not disrespectful. I can just
No.
I can see
Where
that.
do I
I
go
just-
take one of these
I think-
tests at the next commercial
I think
break?
I bet you'd be a Hufflepuff.
BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed, I'm going.
BuzzFeed.
I'm on the way.
I think Matt would be a Hufflepuff.
I think so too, which is kind of an insult, but there's some good Hufflepuffs.
No, I don't think so. It's just because he's. It's not.
I don't.
No, it's
hey,
not. Don't listen, Matt. Don't listen
I'm going
to
to
him. It's about-
BuzzFeed and it says
it's
which
about your
Lord of the Rings
intelligence.
character are you? Is that what I
Not
did?
Lord of the Harry Potter.
Oh,
Which
see.
Harry Potter house are you? Yeah. Hey, today's birthdays today, though. Let's do these real quick. Ernest Hemingway, born today in 1899. I tried to read one of those books one time. Way too smart for me, and I was tired of acting pretentious. One of my favorite actors ever, Don Knotts, Three's Company, Andy Griffith, fantastic. Born today in 1924. Also, Cat Stevens, may have to add him to that halftime playlist today. Born today in 1948. One of the greatest actors that I enjoy watching on the big screen and television before his untimely death. Robin Williams, born today in 1951. And hey, how about this? The man himself, a lover of stuffed raccoons, Erling Haaland, born today in 2000. He's only 26 years old. Seeing that he was a year
Living
younger
his
than
best
me
life.
made me throw up in my mouth.
No.
National days today, National Junk Food Day and National Be Someone Day. I had to look into what National Be Someone Day meant. Take time today to be someone for a child, a young person, someone that
There you
needs
go.
guidance. Be someone for them.
Be someone.
And then National Junk Food Day. What's your
Isn't
favorite
that
junk
just
foods,
parenting?
guys?
Isn't that just parenting?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Does
that's
that
just being a
count?
parent. What's
I
your
can
guys'
do
favorite
that.
junk foods on National
Ooh.
Junk Food Day?
Are Cheez-Its junk food?
Absolutely.
Okay, man, I could kill a box of Cheez-Its in one sitting.
Do you have a specific type of cheese that
So
you
I
prefer?
love,
The
yeah. So
toasting
my
are
favorite are the Asiago ones, and they're hard to find. They used to have a 4-cheese one, so if I can't find those, then I try to get like maybe the Parmesan or the white cheddar or something like that. But I mean, I could kill a box of Cheez-Its.
Matt, do
Chicharito.
you consume anything that would be
Yeah,
considered
spicy.
junk
Those
food?
the Chicharrinos are amazing.
Oh, okay.
I ate some sour Skittles yesterday. That's
Did.
that's the first bag of candy I bought in months.
I
So
haven't had a
sour-
carb since
sour-
2004.
You haven't had what?
I haven't had a
The
car. Look
carb
at
since
these. You look like you
2004.
want to punch me in the face.
Ladder
Don't
these
you?
things up every day with key oil.
Yeah. Hurry! Hey, we gotta go see Dane Cook live on pay-per-view. Come
20
on.
minutes.
Oh my gosh, y'all are
Sorry.
funny.
Sorry.
Y'all are fun. Did you say a junk food, Colton?
Oh, yeah, Oreos. Oreos,
Ooh.
gotta have them. Gotta have them. Or Chips Ahoy.
Yeah.
I'm a big cookie guy.
I can't have Oreos in my house. They're dangerous too. Between Cheez-Its and Oreos, it's man, I could go all. I just like chips, to be honest with you. I like chips. All right, we got much more halftime coming up after this. Got some more guests and Clay Henry joining us after the break.
Busy season is here, and C2 Supply is ready to keep you stocked and moving. Whether you're tackling big jobs or everyday work, we've got the supplies to keep things running smoothly. Stop by C2 Supply 602N, Broadway in Poto, or give us a call at 918-647-0430. C2 Supply, keeping your jobs moving all season long, and let us see to your supply needs.
When I'm in the mood for something sweet and hot, do I wait hoping my husband walks in dressed in tight tennis shorts and a dozen roses? No. I hit Hardee's for the new made-from-scratch hot honey biscuit, that crispy chicken, that hot honey, and that sweet prize. Just $3.99 for a limited time. Or that hand-breaded hot honey chicken sandwich with crispy bacon and melted Swiss on a brioche bun. Hardee's new hot honey menu. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Not valid for use within a combo or in combination with any other offer or discount.
Championship caliber teams like the Razorbacks rely on proven performers. So do smart businesses. That's why Datamax proudly partners with Kyocera Office Technology, recognized by Keypoint Intelligence for delivering the industry's most consistent color performance. Kyocera is built for reliability, security, and results you can count on. Combined with the local service and support you've trusted for years, it's a winning combination for your business. Datamax, relevant technology, raving results.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's hay time with Kubota hay equipment from Gray Brothers, like quality-built Kubota disc hay mowers known for their durability and beautiful cut. Kubota hay rakes and, of course, the BB Series Kubota round baler. Couple it with Kubota's M Series cab tractor with 75 to 168 horsepower, and you'll have the prettiest hay on the market. With savings from Gray Brothers and special financing from Kubota, today is your day for a new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see sunny skies, slight chance of a shower or storm. Our high temperatures today will be close to 100 degrees, mainly clear, low 70s tonight. And then we're not going to be as hot on Wednesday. Lots of sunshine, upper 80s to low 90s, mid to upper 80s on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 46 days. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
Now, we got to be together to win this dadgum game. Now, let's go over some things. Let's meet.
Touchdown, Arkansas. Oh, my. And Jones jumps up and slams the football over the goal post.
We're going to kill the Hogs with our fans, and we're getting ready because we're knocking at the door.
Said you had very motivational words at halftime.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
I got a question for number 9. The wild wilderness of halftime.
Sports talk that doesn't sound like everyone else.
You're going to learn real quick about me.
Tacos.
I love being competitive.
We're going to be friends forever.
It's halftime with Alyssa Orange.
Hey, Hunter can call in if he wants to. I'd love to talk to him.
Colton Little.
That's on me. I thought he was a better producer.
And Razorback legend Matt Jones.
It's wild about Matt Jones.
Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. New energy, new perspective, same obsession. This is halftime.
Welcome back to halftime. Alyssa Orange, Matt Jones, Colton Little, Clay Henry, the features editor of Whole Hog Sports, joining us on this Tuesday like he always does. I mentioned we're going to have Tony Barnhart later on in the hour, as well as our good friend David Nuno from Tex Ags. Going to talk about the Aggies and join us as well. But Clay, Matt, by the way, he took our test because he is just a solid co-host. And you're what, 32% what?
32% Gryffindor, 29% Ravenclaw. Those were the two.
That'll be Gryffindor.
That was the two, yeah. And I don't know what any of that means. I have to listen to you guys.
It's a good answer,
know.
Matt. You came out on top.
I misspoke. I thought the smart ones were Hufflepuff, and then Colton told me in the break they're actually the Ravenclaws. Like, oh, okay, that's what I meant. So I misspoke. But I think that's kind of spot on for you, Matt. And then Clay, we're going to just put you in Ravenclaw for good measure, okay?
Well, he has a Lord of the Rings tree, right? No, I'm sorry. Like he has a Harry Potter tree at the house.
We have a Harry Potter tree in the backyard. It is a massive, massive oak. I mean, you could put 4 tree houses in there. You could live in the tree if you wanted to. I mean, isn't that what Harry Potter does? Doesn't he live in trees?
No.
If I got the
He
wrong
lived in
guy?
a cupboard under the stairs.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
a tree?
Well, I
a
don't know
Harry
what
Potter tree? I
Well,
don't know.
there's Harry Potter trees in
Well,
the
that's
movies.
why I thought like the Weeping Willow that like beats them up. Does it look like
Yeah,
that?
no, it's this huge, huge, massive oak that you just build. You'd have a tree house over here, a tree house. I mean, don't you think Harry Potter could live in a tree house? Because he could just fly on his broom.
Sure. We're
Get into one of those
we're
owl
getting
cubby
going off the
holes.
deep end.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that works.
Oh,
That checks.
I mean,
that checks.
you brought me into the conversation.
I did.
You
No, I
know I'm
did.
changing the rules.
I did. No, I'm totally. That's fair game, and I get it.
I do it.
100% fair game. I just got lost. It's my fault. It's totally my fault. We were talking
Hey,
about
it's
Harry
summer
Potter.
rules right now. We're
yeah,
good.
we're talking about Harry Potter in the last hour because one of the books, the final book, debuted today. And that's what got us on the Harry Potter trek. But we are at SEC Media Days here in Tampa. Clay, have you been listening to the things that the coaches have said? Did you hear anything Greg Sankey said yesterday about the SEC, about college football expansion and playing a 9-game schedule?
I listened to all of that. I'm waiting for something to really, really fire me up. I haven't had that moment yet. These things to me are pretty boring, pretty much waste of time. But since you're there, we're going to talk about it. I'm fully into that part of it. The stuff about letting the television network set the times and it'd be awkward for some teams to play late on the West Coast and then early on the next Saturday like Arkansas has with Utah and Georgia. He didn't satisfy my need for information on that. Basically, the way I read it is that, we're screwed and they can do that again if they want to, is the way I took that. The ESPN and ABC, those networks are going to set the times to fit their needs. And we've given them the okay to do it because we've taken their money.
This 9-game schedule, though, we've talked about eliminating one of those non-conference games to add this 9-game schedule, and they've got those permanent opponents that they'll rotate through, which is LSU, Texas, and Missouri for Arkansas these next 4 years. Do you like this 9-game schedule, or did you think that playing 4 non-conference games wasn't that big of a deal?
Well, I saw it coming. You knew that was high probability. The top teams like it because it gives them another game to prove their worth, and they will. I think it's tough for teams like Arkansas that are trying to fight into that middle of the pack area. You could kind of schedule into that with 4 non-conference games that are less than ideal, but Arkansas hasn't done that. They had Notre Dame last year. They got Utah this year. They've played Power 5 teams. So I guess my answer is the 9-game schedule was always going to be there. It wasn't a matter of if, it was just a matter of when. So I guess I was resigned to the fact that we were going to play that extra game. But I think that 10 Power 5 games is probably too much.
Probably. I think so. But it'll be interesting to see exactly how things play out because Matt's always made a really good point is now that there are no more divisions, you don't play anyone. It's really hard to tell who is the real SEC champion if you're not playing anyone in your division.
Everyone, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's an interesting way for them to kind of go about it with the elimination of those divisions. But I want to talk to you too a little bit since we have you here and we haven't talked to you about baseball since all of those things kind of happened last week. We knew a little bit. I think that Nate Thompson, when we talked to him last week, kind of hinted at the fact that Nolan Souza and Pompey were going to come back, but this baseball roster really starting to shape up now that guys are not signing after being drafted in the major league draft.
It looks like their roster is going to be really good. I mean, I think that Dave was happy after the draft, and I think he's gotten happier. It looks like the players you expected to come back are coming back. I think there was some hope for Kahoy Aloy, but I never felt that way. I mean, he cleaned out his locker. That's a pretty good indication to me. When somebody cleans out their stuff, they're gone. I mean, I haven't ever seen somebody clean out their stuff and come back. They pretty much, that's pretty much the signal. So yeah, I like. I don't know enough to say these guys are going to be the Friday, Saturday, Sunday rotation in the SEC. I can't predict that yet, and so that's still a great unknown. But they're bringing in some starting pitching. You suspect that some of those guys will be in the mix for that. You've heard good reports about some of the pitchers that didn't get their chance much last year have done well in the summer. They are ready for bigger innings for this coming season.
World Cup, did you watch it? What'd you think?
Oh, I watched it, yeah.
Well, I mean the final.
Yeah, I watched it, yeah. Just Spain was so good defensively. They're strong. You couldn't knock them off balance. Technically superior. In other words, their first touch was outstanding. They dominated all the way through in the same fashion. They were controlled from the very start against Argentina. And poor Messi. I mean, they never got the ball in a position to do any damage. It was they had him under control by not letting him have the ball, and unless he wanted to go deep in his own end, he could touch it there. But otherwise, they did what we expected Spain to do, which was dominate possession time and with their skill.
Hey, Clay, I got a question for you because I really do believe that, it's infectious, the passion, the pride, the drama, the theater, I go back to 1992, the Dream Team, what it did for the world, for the basketball for the world. I think this tournament on U.S. soil could kind of change. I don't know that America's ever going to win the World Cup, but it could kind of help build us into the right direction. The question I got is, if you're the U.S. men's national team, do you think it's key to keep Mauricio Pochettino as the head coach, or do you think you got to move on and go somewhere else from him?
Well, he to me he's outstanding, and I think you'd have a hard time finding somebody better. It just depends on what he wants to do.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he does. He seems to want to stay as the coach, and dollar signs generally dictate that. Maybe he thinks he's worth more. Maybe they don't think he's
worth more. You got the Gold
more.
Cup coming up. Yeah, you start thinking it's just a totally different vibe when you coach a domestic team in a Premier League team or La Liga team, because we know he's a first class coach. He's going to go to a Power 4 conference, so to speak. Then when you're coaching the national team, it's more about youth development. It's more about making sure the structure's the right way. Not that you can't do that too domestically, but it's like your goal or what you're supposed to do as a coach is just a little bit different.
Yeah, I don't really worry so much about the national team, and I when I think of in terms of what needs to happen for soccer and the development in the youth level, and I've heard Landon Donovan speak on this, that what we're doing is broken. It's all about winning, and it should be about technical development. I can remember when our oldest daughter worked her way into the first Comets women's team when she was 15, I think. and I went to a few of the practices because I was the club manager. In other words, I did the paperwork, birth certificates, all that kind of stuff. And I watched the practice, and none of the practices had anything to do with tactical planning. It was all just ball work. And that team got really good really fast doing that. But I've just heard horror stories about these coaches that want to just scrimmage and just let them play. And I think that the academies, the football clubs, Kansas City, Sporting KC, all of those, they have to be foremost in development in technical ability within their ranks. Have a U16 team. They've got to. That's where soccer has to be built, not at club soccer with parents.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're absolutely right. And I think soccer just, everyone says soccer's a starter sport, and maybe trying to change the narrative around that about kids who start in soccer because, they're 4 and 5 and then transition into other sports, keeping it really focused on, hey, if you like soccer, let's use this as a trajectory to see where it goes for you. Hey, speaking of, it's lunchtime here in Tampa. I'm going to see if I can track down a little bit of food, but we have got Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart, going to join us after the break. And speaking of lunch, the best Tex-Mex, even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every day, Joe's Grill makes fresh from scratch salsa, queso dip, guacamole, warm crispy chips to start your meal, plus fajitas, enchiladas, tacos, burritos, all of it, so much more. And it will be an experience that you won't forget. Great Tex-Mex, even better service at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps. Tony Barnhart joining us after the break.
We are live at SEC Media Days in Tampa, Florida. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback next to Baumwalker, the largest and best Razorback shop south of the North Pole. Whether your needs are for tailgating, game day, man cave decorations, and dorm room stuff, it doesn't get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Local, family, alumni owned and operated. Shop online at shoponrazorback.com.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Kevin Hart here to tell you all about Taco Bell's new jalapeno citrus salsa. Hey guys, I kind of feel like you're chopping off my head a little bit. I'm the money. Don't forget that. It's spicy, balanced with a sweet and tangy citrus touch that makes everything taste even better. And the best part is it comes with, I kind of still feel like you ain't got all of me. The best part is it comes with anything on the Cantina menu. So you better try it before it's gone.
New jalapeno citrus salsa, the sauce with more main character energy than Kevin Hart.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for. Only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com. RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
So I had pain in my feet for a good 20 years.
It felt like I was standing on marbles.
Something wasn't working with my feet. Was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis.
If your feet aren't comfortable, the rest of the body suffers.
So I went into the Good Feet store and bam. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support.
You put in the arch supports. To me, it was almost miraculous.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
I can run, I can walk. This is not something that you could solve online.
Reclaim the good life with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, paper.
It's breaking my heart you're leaving. Baby, I'm grieving. But if you wanna leave, take good care. For we have a lot of nice things to wear. But then a lot of nice things turn bad out there. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world.
Make sure to follow Halftime on X at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Let's get back to the show with Matt Jones, Alyssa Orange, and Colton Little.
Welcome back here to Halftime at SEC Media Days in Tampa, and we are joined by Mr. College Football himself, Tony Barnhart, here. And you know, there's not a lot of people who have covered college football and know college football quite like you do. So welcome. Happy to have you.
Thank you.
You know, we're looking ahead at Ryan Silverfield and what he can bring to the table for the Razorbacks. But over the years, what is it that you think Arkansas has that says this is how they can accomplish things and be successful?
Alyssa, there's no great mystery about Arkansas. Over the years that I've covered them, when they go out and recruit Texas hard, and I mean really hard, and bring in elite athletes, they've had the opportunity. You got to have the right coach more than ever. But two things: you cannot have an average coach. You cannot have an average quarterback. You've got to be elite in both of those slots. And if you can, and again, anytime Arkansas has been good, you know this, they recruited Texas very successfully. And so that's what they've got to do to get it back. I thought Ryan Silverfield did a great job at Memphis. And so this is a job that's suited for him. So I'm kind of anxious to see. I go see Memphis a lot in my travels. So I'll be anxious to see how this works out.
You know, one thing he did when he got the Arkansas job, it was right before signing day, and he made sure he went around the state and got the best kids in the state who were maybe committed elsewhere to commit to the Razorbacks and really win that battle in state recruiting, but also developing too. When you look at what Ryan Silverfield can do and the pieces he has around him, what's going to make him successful that you saw him do at Memphis?
I think the way you said it. You said developing players. You got to get good players and develop them, and turn that 225-pound outside linebacker into maybe a rush end that's about 240. You've got to improve them. One of the great coaches I ever dealt with who knew how to develop talent was Jimmy Johnson when he was at Miami. And he and Nick Saban are the two best evaluators of talent that I've ever seen. And that's the key. You got to look at that guy and say, well, he's 225, but I see him at 240, and this is how he can help us. And so that's what Arkansas is going to have to do.
Tony, I got a question for you. Matt Jones here. You brought up some good points with Arkansas and when they have success. I'd add to that. What about having a running game again? You think when Arkansas has success, they have running backs, they have multiple running backs, and you talk about getting linebackers, and the way the game's going is getting smaller and get faster. What not going back to get into like an old school mentality, being physical and investing? Can you see it? Can you see a time when the running back value goes up again, especially in college football? Because if you're a quarterback, you know what your best friend is? Man, a strong running game.
Yep. No, Matt, you nailed it on the head, and the cycle is coming back around to where you're going to see more and more teams try to run the football. Alex Golesh, the new coach at Auburn, says people think because we go up tempo, people think we throw the ball. No, we're based on running the football. And I look back at all those great running backs that Arkansas had in that stretch, and they can do that again. I think the fact that with so much talent moving around because of the transfer portal, more and more people are going to go back to a run-based offense. So, man, I think you hit it right on the head. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, got to be physical. Hey, I want to ask you, Alyssa and I talked a little bit about this. The NFL's kind of getting into this, and we just saw this with the World Cup. I don't know how much of the World Cup you watched. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. Every single one of these soccer athletes, safety reasons, first of all, they play on natural grass and not field turf.
Yep.
When are we going to get – and I get it because you know what? You can't have Taylor Swift come in and do a concert. You can't do this if you don't have – you don't want to mess up the grass. How do we get back? I wouldn't let my son go to a school that played on field turf. If I had a son, he's getting recruited, they would be – there's a lot of things that I wouldn't let him – but he would be going to a school where you have natural grass. How do we not value these athletes' safety and understand that natural grass is better than field turf?
I think you're absolutely right. I've never been a proponent of artificial turf. It just doesn't work. You don't get a natural feel. You can really wreck your knee if you step wrong and press off the one side. And so yeah, I would be with you if I had a son who was playing football. I said let's play on real grass. Does it avoid injury? No. Is it less likely you'll have an injury? Yes. So.
You've been covering college football for over 50 years, and one of the things I love to hear are the stories that those who've been covering it for a really long time just get to share. I mean, just soak up all that knowledge, and you get to do that. You've got a book coming out, which I'm super excited about because you're going to share a lot of these stories. First off, how did you narrow them all down to put into a book, and how do you just sum it up in a collection like that?
It's a great question, and I decided when I want to do this book, I was going to have to put in a structure that would allow me to cover all the bases. So there are 16 chapters in the book, a chapter for each member of the conference.
Oh, cool.
And what I did was I would go back. A place like Auburn. I said, what is my favorite personal memory? May not be a great game, whatever. Personal memory for Auburn, and for Auburn, it was December 2nd, 1989, the first time that Alabama ever went to Jordan-Hare Stadium. Bear Bryant said as long as he was alive, Alabama would never play at Jordan-Hare Stadium. But for the sheer force of his will, Pat Dye said, well, Coach, you ain't going to live forever. Okay? Bear Bryant died, and through the sheer force of his will, Pat Dye got that game to move home and home. And that was the most emotional day I have ever spent on a football field. Grown men, they had their version of the Tiger Walk. There were grown men walking in the Tiger Walk, and I let the State Patrol let me slip in there. Grown men crying because they never thought they would see this in their lifetime. Stuff like that. And there's so many a fun thing that we did. My wife, Maria, and Jerry Spurrier, Steve's wife, are best buddies. And they put together a reception for us in Gainesville, Florida, to celebrate my 50th anniversary in the profession and Coach Spurrier's 80th birthday. And so they had a great reception, a bunch of his former players, a bunch of my media buddies down there. And we came to the end of the night, and they said, well, Coach, you and Tony are going to toast each other. And Coach Spurrier went, well, I don't know if I can toast Barnhart or not. He's one of them bulldogs. They said, no, that's all right. You're not one of them dumb bulldogs like we deal with. I said, okay. So he said, I guess I'll toast to you. So he did. And finally I got up there and said, Coach, I know there was a compliment in there somewhere for me.
Sure.
But I will simply say that you came across my radar in 1966 when I was 13 years old. And all you had to do was beat Georgia to give Florida its first ever SEC championship. Well, Coach, I remember watching it on TV, and the University of Georgia beat you like a yard dog. Okay? And it turned out incredible. And finally, I said, you had to get to be a head coach at Florida before you ever won a championship. So
That's right.
It's personal stories like that.
Can you give us a sneak peek on that Arkansas chapter?
Well, yes, I reserved the right to throw a few curveballs, and one of my curveballs was the day that Bobby Petrino left the Atlanta Falcons and headed to Fayetteville to go call the Hogs. I called my desk. I was working for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution at the time, covering college football. I said, I am on the next plane to Fayetteville, Arkansas. So I hopped in a plane, flew out there. I'm very close with the folks at Sports Information. And I just said, I'm coming, and I'm not going back home until he talks to me. Well, he's not going to talk to you. He's going to. So I said he's not going to talk to any Atlanta media. So I show up, and I said, well, I'm staying until he talks to me. Well, I stayed there 3.5 days.
Wow.
He finally decided he wasn't going to talk to me, and I did go home. And so the chapter on Arkansas is entitled "Chasing Bobby Petrino." And it's about as it turned out all right. And I write at the very end. I said, Coach, I'm sorry that we couldn't get together. If we had talked, it would have been a great story. But the fact that you don't talk to me after all these years is still a great story. But if you ever need anybody to talk to, know that I'm here for you, big guy.
You can always pick up the phone.
And that's how it ends.
Yeah.
I got another question, Tony, that we've been kind of debating, Alyssa and I and Colton as well. Has the SEC gotten better? The fact that we've had, Arkansas got in '92. We've added, Missouri, Texas, Oklahoma. We've added a handful of teams, but we've done away with divisions. I believe that we've gotten worse by not having division. How do you have a champion that doesn't play everybody? If you had your East, you have your West divisions. You play everybody in your division. Then you rotate the other games where you're able to get to and then you have a true championship. Do you think they're doing it because we're going to get rid of the SEC championship game, or are you in favor for it the way that the SEC landscape works right now?
Well, I understand the divisional play. I kind of like the idea of having divisional. Roy Kramer, the late Roy Kramer, bless his heart, bless his soul, he said you have more meaningful games in November if you have divisional play because more teams are trying to win a division. I'm very concerned about the SEC championship game. I was there with Roy Kramer when he put it together, and I hate it. But I'm afraid I don't see how we can get. We certainly it'd be tough to go to 16 and keep divisional play or to keep the SEC championship game. And you sure as heck if you go to 24. I can't even believe I said that.
Oof.
I mean, it's funny, guys. I've had all these people say, "Well, the coaches really want 24." Well, I guess they would.
Of course they would.
It is the Coaches Security Act of 2026. So, I don't. But no, Matt. I agree with you. It changed the dynamic, and it makes your championship game less than what it was by not having divisional play. Yeah. But they're so afraid they're going to have something to happen to the ACC where you got an 8-4 team winning the other division.
Sure.
And you don't have your two best teams in the conference playing for the championship. That's why they did it. So
I got it.
Wrapping things up real fast, a board member for the Bobby Dodd Trophy, and when you talk about coaching and having strong coaches. How strong is college football overall with the men in charge of these programs that are leading programs to championships right now?
The irony of all of this is that for all the problems we have off the field in college football, the game that's played on the field now is better than it's ever been. It's a great game, and it delivers every Saturday. But I like the leadership that we've got. That's why I'm on the Bobby Dodd Board of Directors. I'm part of the selection committee that picks the Coach of the Year. And the Bobby Dodd Trophy, the Dodd Trophy is different than other Coach of the Year awards. It's not just about wins and losses. It's about how your kids do academically. What do they do in community service? And one of the things that's different is that we don't make the Bobby Dodd winner come to Atlanta and present him with a trophy. We load up and we fly to wherever it is, and we present the trophy to the winning coach on campus with a campus dinner, and that's one of the different things. So I've been asked to put my name on a lot of different things, but this is the only thing that I put it on is the Dodd Trophy. Very proud to be a part of it.
I love that. And your book. That'll be coming out soon. I'm excited to read all those stories. Thank you so much. Tony Barnhart joining us, Mr. College Football. Of course, if you want to join in our conversation, 877-377-6963. Sir, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Good to be with you.
Appreciate you guys. We have got more guests joining us on halftime after the break. David Munoz of TexAgs.com joining us after this. Stick around.
Do you want to play with? This is halftime.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is halftime.
Touchdown, Hogs! Holy Hogs! Presented by Central Hydraulics. When your equipment slows down, every minute matters. At Central Hydraulics, they keep your machines operating with the power and precision they were built for. From custom hydraulic hoses made while you wait to cylinder rebuilds, pump repairs, and hard-to-find parts. Their technicians get you solutions you need. Fast, accurate, and done right the first time. Stop by 6104 Highway 271 in Fort Smith or call 479-646-0471. Whether it's a simple hose replacement or a major hydraulic repair, they're here to keep your equipment performing. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors is having a good old summertime sale on all summer clothing. Save up to 50% off on select Ariat, Perlebo, Drake, Habit, Hook, Local Boy, and Wrangler clothing. Check out the best deal in town on Ariat and Wrangler blue jeans. Buy 2 pair, get a 3rd free. Bow hunters, come see us for getting your bow ready. Great deals on Elite, Hoyt, and Matthews bows. Close out the summer with savings at Jelco Outdoors. Remember, work, fish, hunt. That's what we do at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Hey, it's Zach from the Ruskin and Zach Show, and we're going to be live at Blue Ember Smokehouse in Fort Smith on Monday, July the 27th. It's Nacho Monday. Your choice of slow-smoked pork, chicken, turkey, or brisket, piled high with all the fixings. The hog trough fries, huge addition to the Blue Ember Smokehouse menu. Crispy fries piled high with your choice of their slow-smoked meats, topped with queso, shredded cheese, sour cream, and chives. It's us, Ruskin and Zach, live at Blue Ember Smokehouse, Monday, July the 27th, 8000 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. Blue Ember Smokehouse, get smoked.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's a little bit funny
this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live.
Find Halftime on 93.7 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Join Lewis Automotive as they celebrate America's 250th celebration with the Pick One event, where it's your choice of a $250 gas card, an Arctic cooler, or a 2-year maintenance plan with the purchase of any new or used vehicle. Now, here's Matt Jones, Alyssa Orange, and Colton Little.
Welcome back to Halftime here at SEC Media Days in Tampa. David Nuno of TexAgs.com joining us. And I've been on your show a handful of times.
Yeah.
So you owe me a favor. I made you come sit down and talk football with me. So welcome.
Thank you so much. And my goodness, are you guys all around the world? I heard
Yes, we
every
are.
station in Arkansas. Congratulations.
That's right. Thank you. Yeah, we get the word out there
Yeah.
a little bit everywhere around here. And it's been fun doing this radio thing outside of television. But talking the Aggies,
Yep.
this is not a secret to any of the listeners or the viewers. I picked the Aggies to win the SEC. I'm sorry if I jinxed it for you, and I apologize. And I don't even like the Aggies. But I like Mike Elko. What do you think it is about what he continues to build in College Station that sets up the Aggies for success?
You know, sometimes when they say he's the smartest person in the room, it's kind of a dig. With Mike Elko, it's not a dig. It's like he just, I mean, he's Brown educated. He's got this Ivy League kind of style to him, but he's also blue collar. Like he does his ability to communicate with his players and to the media does not change, right? He's no nonsense. He knows how to build a program. He's got a vision, and he knows what he's trying to build to get to. I really liked Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher came at a time in transition with NIL that I think he lost his fastball in an ever-changing sport. Mike Elko's got the ability to be old school, but evolve with the times. And I think that's why people really believe in him. And if you just watch what they do, I mean, they just get their hands dirty, right? They put it in the dirt and they go after you. They'll do that on the offensive line. They'll do that on the defensive line. They've got questions for sure this year, so I don't know if I'm with you on winning the SEC. I see a way they could. I also look at that 9th SEC game that kind of changes things. I look at some of the road trips. And I look at an offensive line that I guess has to be completely rebuilt that I wonder. But he's the guy. He's the one picking the groceries, and I think he knows how to cook.
Sometimes I sneak on you guys and watch your reels on your Instagram. You were talking about trap games.
Mm-hmm.
Is Arkansas a trap game for A&M?
I mean, it could be, sure, right? We were trying to go through it, like, what is the definition of a trap game? A game that you're kind of overlooking before and after another game. Arkansas could absolutely do it. Here's the way I look at Arkansas. I know A&M has done amazing over the last 15 years against Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
But every game, I feel like I'm biting my nails, no matter what the record is. Last year, I never thought A&M was going to lose to Arkansas, but Arkansas scored every freaking drive. Like, it was like another touchdown. And, like, the fact that A&M never punted, I think, is why they won that game. Like, they would have made one interception. I think that could have changed the entire thing. So, yes, they could absolutely be a game that you overlook. But, again, it goes back to what we talked about earlier with Mike Elko. He doesn't allow his team to think that way. Now, sometimes it happens. 2 years ago, A&M had a chance to go to the SEC championship game. They lost their last two SEC games. They lost to Texas at home, which was an embarrassing game where you don't score an offensive touchdown. But they also lost to Auburn on the road. And some people thought, were they overlooking that game with what's ahead?
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas comes at a time in the schedule that I could see that being the case. But this team's problem has been November, not earlier.
There's a lot of talent A&M always had. Hey, David, this is Matt Jones here.
Hey, Matt.
I got one question. I got a couple questions, but one, I love Colin Klein. I loved him when he was at Kansas State. He was the OC there. I love some A&M. I like Mike Elko. I like all the there's a lot to like about A&M. What's your thoughts on the new OC and how do you think that works? Because there's a little – you saw South Carolina do this. Dow Loggins left South Carolina. They kind of had a little downswing right there.
Yep.
You see this happen from time to time. Do you think there's a one-year gap that kind of – or do you think there's just that learning curve takes 2 or 3, 4 games and they have an identity?
I think there is – I'm not as worried with Holman Wiggins, who has been there. All right, he was the wide receivers coach. He took on a bigger role last year offensively anyway. I don't think that's going to be the problem in the transition. I think the problem in the transition is going to be the offensive line. Now, don't get me wrong. Anytime, even if it's a guy who's come up with the system, he's going to do it his way. There's going to be some new wrinkles. I love Colin Klein, too. I don't know if we saw the best of Colin Klein at A&M, and what I mean by that, Aggies will hold on to some play calling blunders, in our opinion, of plays. You're like, why did you call that? But the development of quarterbacks that he's had has been uncanny. He's been fantastic from that respect. That's where I think Holman Wiggins is going to have to prove himself. But when you have a veteran quarterback who is starting, and I phrase it, his 2.5 year because he came in midway through the 24 season for Connor Wigman, I think the fact that he's got so many reps in SEC play is going to help Holman Wiggins because he's got a quarterback that he knows understands what's at stake. What Marcel has to do is not turn the ball over and not turn the ball over significantly at the end of a season.
What position do you think their A&M has so much talent. I was a Lavian Moss fan. I know he got hurt and then I don't even know if he's on the team anymore. You got Reuben Owens the second is I guess going to be your starting running back. If I was to ask you right now, what position do you think is going to be better, running back or receiver for Texas A&M this year?
Impossible to say either because Le'Veon Moss, he signed an undrafted free agent contract in the NFL, but had to medically retire. Unfortunately, he got hurt those last 2 years at A&M. But when he was out there, it was a complete difference for A&M, right? So, and then you lose Casey Concepcion to the NFL, a first-round pick. You can't expect to be better, but I'm going to give you a real answer. I'm going to say wide receiver has the ability to be deeper. I'm going to do what Billy Lucci does for Texas, give you 12 answers.
I like it.
Wide receiver can't be better when you lose Casey Concepcion. You can be deeper. And what I mean by that is you get an ex-receiver in Isaiah Horton who you can throw those balls to, and he's just going to make a play because of his size, his speed, and his physicality. Mario Craver was almost a 1,000-yard receiver last year. He got banged up, missed a couple games down the stretch, and he wasn't himself, but he had, 970 yards receiving. He's going to be your A receiver. You've got Ashton Bethel-Roman, who developed midway through the season. He's got big playability. Terry Bussey, a 5-star that transitioned his freshman year from the secondary from cornerback to wide receiver. And then you got Aaron Gregory, who's going to be all-world freshman, who kind of reminds us of A.J. Green at Georgia. So I think wide receiver is going to be your deepest, most lethal position group. The running back room, I think, is a TBD. Reuben Owens is really good, right? He was a 5-star for a reason. But he had some issues at the end of last season where he would fall. He fell significantly a few times in the Texas game. He's healthy, a year removed from an injury. I think he's really good. Jamarian Morrow showed flashes of brilliance last year, especially when Le'Veon couldn't play. I think that's a group that's going to be good. They have the biggest room to grow. Obviously, wide receiver can't grow that much. But if I were to put my money on one, I'd say wide receiver. But I think 25 times. I think running back is going to be I think it's going to be better than people expect.
David Nuno of TexAgs.com joining us. This game, back to being a home and home. We've moved away from Jerry World, which no knock to AT&T Stadium. It's a great facility. I was over it about 5 years in. You know, the results could have been better for Arkansas side of things, and maybe that would have changed my mind. But why is this better, being a home and home, being able to play in Fayetteville and in College Station?
Well, look, if we were in the Big 12, I wouldn't care, right? But we're in the SEC, brother, right? Sorry, ma'am. We're in the SEC. And I say that because who was the coach who said that? This is the Big 12, brother. What's his name? Dan Hawkins at Colorado, I think, years back. Anyway, sorry to go on a tangent. I like it better because I think SEC football needs to be played on campus. I just do. I know there's some other places that don't, but I love the idea of traveling and being in hostile territory and having to overcome that and vice versa. You got to come to our house, to Kyle Field, 108,000 people going crazy. It's better for the fan experience. I think it's better brand of football. I enjoy Jerry World. It's fun. I don't want it every year. I think it'd be cool to do it like twice a decade, like, you know, in the 0 and the 5. Boom, you're done, right? But I don't want it every single year.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things, too, where there's a disadvantage on both ends too
Yeah.
when it comes to when it's your home. You're missing out on recruiting, and nowadays how big that is to have another home game off your schedule because you've got it in a neutral site. But I know Arkansas excited to go to College Station. Kyle Field might make the trip. Never been.
Come on, girl.
I know I've never been. I've been for a 7-on-7 tournament but
At
that's-
Veterans Park.
Yeah, not fun. But I've never been to Kyle Field, so we'll see.
Yeah,
how it
so
goes.
if you've been in the middle of summer for a 7-on-7 tournament and it's 115 degrees, you're going to have a much better experience
great.
at the Coliseum that is Kyle Field.
Yeah, where do I need to eat if I go to College Station?
I'll send
I'm
you
a
some
foodie.
places.
Send me
Okay,
some
do you like
places.
barbecue?
Who doesn't like barbecue?
Okay, well, Texas
Okay.
barbecue is done best at 1775.
Okay, you got it.
Not only a sponsor, it's legit the best.
Okay.
All right.
You got your sponsorship plug in there. There you go. It's
But
always good to see you.
great
Thanks
seeing
for
you
catching
too.
up. Of course, Arkansas and A&M. All those Hog fans would love to get that game against A&M. So we'll see what happens here in the middle of this season. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
you.
much.
We're going to
Appreciate you.
continue rolling on in halftime after this.
You take drugs, Danny? Every day. Good. This is halftime.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Hey, Fort Smith. Have you seen the all-new Bass Pro Shop outpost on Bass Pro Drive off Rogers Avenue? Step inside and check out the Pradco store within a store, where you can create something truly one of a kind. Pick from iconic lure shapes like the Booyah One Knocker or the Bandit 100, to name only a few. And have it custom autographed just the way you want it. It's fun, it's personal, and it's only at the brand new Bass Pro outpost. Swing by today and make your own custom lure.
Ace has always been the helpful place, and now we're even more helpful by offering instant savings to Ace Rewards members. Not a member? Just sign up at Metters Lumber Ace Hardware to start saving right at the register. Right now, you can get $80 off DeWalt Atomic 20-volt brushless impact and driver kits, or $50 off select Ego outdoor power equipment after instant savings with your Ace Rewards card. Ace, the helpful place. Must be an Ace Rewards member to receive instant savings. Available through the end of the month. See participating stores for details.
When it's time to stock the bar, fill the cooler, or grab the perfect bottle, stop by River Point Wine and Spirits. You'll love our clean, organized store, full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer at the right price. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. So come stock up for game night, date night, or the weekend ahead. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Join Lewis Automotive as they celebrate America's 250th celebration with the Pick One event, where it's your choice of a $250 gas card, an Arctic cooler, or a 2-year maintenance plan with the purchase of any new or used vehicle.
Operator, could you help me place this call? See, the number on the matchbook is old and faded. Living in LA with my best old ex-friend Ray. Gosh, she said she knew well and sometimes hated.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Welcome back to halftime. Really enjoyed those conversations we were able to have with Chesa Boucher, Tony Barnhart, and David Nuno. Really appreciate their time here at SEC Media Days. Clay Henry, the features editor of Whole Hog Sports, joining us. Hey, Clay, did you listen to any of that? What do you think about playing at Kyle Field?
Oh, I like it. I mean, it's none of those guys that are acting goofy up there can come out on the field. I mean, if they could, then I would worry. That 12th man, he's got to stay in the stands. They do goofy things down there, and it's always amusing and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And my last trip there, I have rod holders on the top of my camper shell in my truck, and it didn't fit into the stadium parking lot. I had to go 4 miles away and ride with the concession workers. So the Aggies, they haven't figured everything out. Is their great engineering school is like, don't build a parking garage that normal people can park into. It's like whatever. They were nice, and then I fell in the press box. The steps were too steep and hurt my shoulder. So
you fell.
Oh yeah.
Oh
so
wow.
I think they were worried I was going to sue them, and I still might.
You should. What is it? The statute of limitations on that?
7 years.
I'm good. Yeah.
Can you still do that?
I don't know if I can or
okay.
I can't.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to do that.
It's a joke.
No, I know you're not.
That's not me. Yeah.
Yeah, you're blowing it. He talked about barbecue. You're blowing up our phone right now, talking about smoking meat.
Let's see, I'm going to have
turning
ribs
the
and
smoker
chicken.
on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, with my
Can you overnight some of that to Tampa?
No, you just need to come on here. You're not doing anything there that's important. Just come on up here. We'll do the show from here tomorrow.
I'm just gonna bounce. Arkansas shows up tomorrow.
You could be
and
back by
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, you could leave today, be back by Thursday.
Anybody know anyone with a private jet who'll just get me there? And
Oh,
back?
I do.
I'll have to go
I know
Great.
them, but I don't
Great.
think they're going to send it, though. I do know people with private jets.
Shoot.
Yeah, I rode Mr. Stevens' Falcon jet for about 10 years. Yeah. Don't
Get me on board with that, will you?
Oh, yeah, the captain's chair. That's a sweet way to. You got Wi-Fi in those planes now. Yep.
When you look at, we were able to talk about LSU and Lane Kiffin down in Baton Rouge and Texas A&M. Both of those trophy games for Arkansas. There have been a trophy in that trophy case for quite a bit. It's been a little dusty over there. Is there any way at all, scale of 1 to 10, Clay, that Arkansas could pull out a win between either of those teams?
Well, I think that anything's possible. I mean, there's crazy stuff that happens on the football field, and I mean, I think that Arkansas gets their quarterback situation settled. They're going to win some games. I think their roster is much better, but the unknowns at quarterback just make it tough for anybody to pick them as a serious threat to, win more than 2 SEC games. That's right. That's reality right now. But if they get their quarterback play ironed out and he's an effective playmaker and can limit turnovers, that's the key to the whole deal. And with inexperienced at quarterback, there'll just be mistakes that the only way you get through it is to play. And experience matters at quarterback more than talent does.
Best friend to a new quarterback is a running back, or it's a collection of running backs. It's
Or
being
that
able.
offensive line.
Okay, yes, that's the understood part. Anytime
be
we're
good
talking about
there.
everything about college football, if you don't have an O line or D line, it doesn't matter. So yes, you got to have an offensive line and a defensive line. But after that, it comes to, can you run the ball? Are you able to be physical? Are you able to have a little bit of talent? Do you have a couple dudes that you can get the ball to? You just got to have a couple here at Arkansas. You don't have to have a litany of them like A&M has. You just got to have a couple.
I love where this conversation is going. I want to talk more about the run game and the quarterbacks, not just at Arkansas, but around the SEC as well. We didn't even get to ask David about Marcel Reed. We ran out of time. I wanted to ask him about that. But, of course, we're going to continue our conversation. Clay Henry, Matt Jones, Alyssa Orange, Colton Little, halftime rolling on here after the break as we wrap up Hour 2 and kick off Hour 3 from SEC Media Days in Tampa.
What could you do with $10,000? Well, now's as good a time as any to find out. It's time for our very first Wrath Big Ath 10K Summer Giveaway, brought to you by Wrath Auto Resources. Just visit us at 4515 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith and enter to win $10,000. While you're here, check out any one of our great road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles, inspected, reconditioned, and backed by a comprehensive warranty. It's the Wrath Big Ath 10K Summer Giveaway, brought to you by Wrath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, WrathAutoFortSmith.com. No purchase necessary. See dealer for complete rules.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey everyone, Josh Earnhardt here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. Do you like doing business with local companies? Did you know that AAA Business Systems is one of only a few truly local office technology providers in Northwest Arkansas? Ask your current technology provider where their corporate office is, and let's keep your money in Northwest Arkansas. Buy local, support local. Call us today at 479-442-4185, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
When it's time to stock the bar, fill the cooler, or grab the perfect bottle, stop by River Point Wine and Spirits. You'll love our clean, organized store, full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer at the right price. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. So come stock up for game night, date night, or the weekend ahead. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see sunny skies, slight chance of a shower or storm. Our high temperatures today will be close to 100 degrees, mainly clear, low 70s tonight. And then we're not going to be as hot on Wednesday. Lots of sunshine, upper 80s to low 90s, mid to upper 80s on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 46 days. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
Now, we got to be together to win this dadgum game. Now, let's go over some things. Listen to me.
Touchdown, Arkansas. Oh, my. And Jones jumps up and slams the football over the goalpost.
We're going to kill the Hogs with all our might, and we're getting ready because winning knocking at the door.
Said you had very motivational words at halftime.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
I got a question for number 9. The wild wilderness of halftime.
Sports talk that doesn't sound like everyone else.
You're going to learn real quick
Fried
about
points
me.
and tacos.
I love being competitive.
We're going to be friends forever.
It's halftime with Alyssa Orange.
Hey, Hunter can call in if he wants to. I'd love to talk to him.
Colton Little.
That's on me. I thought he was a better producer.
And Razorback legend Matt Jones.
It's wild about Matt Jones.
Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. New energy, new perspective, same obsession. This is halftime.
1 o'clock Central Time, 2 o'clock here on the East Coast. Welcome back to Halftime. Alyssa Orange, Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Clay Henry, the featured editor of Whole Hog Sports, joining us as well. Guys, the news that broke yesterday, the passing of Jim Lindsay, and I know how much he meant not only to Northwest Arkansas and how much he gave back, not just the company he built with Lindsay Real Estate, but also in a philanthropic way as well, but meant a lot to Razorback fans just across the state and college football and football fans just in general over the years. Clay, I know that you interacted with him a lot. I know that Lindy and Matt have a great relationship. But when you think about Jim Lindsay, Clay, what's the first thing that pops into your head when you think about him?
Well, I mean, it's you think about the history of the program and what the Lindsays have meant, and not just Jim, but Lindy and John David and it just is incredible the support that they've provided through the years. And Houston Nutt detailed it yesterday when I talked to him about that when he would ask for something, there would be just one phone call made and it would be done. Coach Broyles he'd go to see him and he'd say, we need this or we need that, and didn't ask for much, but it was always taken care of by Mr. Lindsay. I talked to Barry Switzer yesterday, and I'd forgotten that he recruited him from Forest City and then coached him, was his position coach, coached the wingbacks. A lot of people think that Jim played, tailback. Yeah, he was a wingback, alternated with Harry Jones. They were both considered starters. But his contributions as a player is significant, and then through the years after that, it's like Lewis Campbell says we, as a coach, we knew where we could have jobs for our players in the summer because they could work for Lindsay Construction, building apartments. He said they took a lot of our players that were willing to work. You went to work for Mr. Lindsay, you worked. It wasn't a
Kawhi Leonard job.
You didn't line your pockets for no work. You worked. But I hear all the stories about people that he's helped through the years, many that he didn't know, some that he did know. And I will tell you, he called me after my dad passed, and they were very close friends, confidants, talked over things. And he said, what's your dad's charity? And I thought for a minute. I said, well, maybe Little Rock Central High School, the journalism department. I heard they don't have new computers. Well, I got a call about 2 or 3 weeks later from the principal, Nancy Russo, Little Rock Central. $20,000 worth of laptops were donated to the journalism department from an anonymous source. Well, I knew where it came from. It wasn't anonymous to me.
What do you remember about Jim Lindsay, the football player?
Well, he made big plays. He was a big back. He's all the Lindsays were late bloomers as far as size. You know, like they might be long, but they kind of filled out, and he was that way. You know, was kind of a skinny kid when he came to school. Played so many sports at Forest City. He and his brother B. Lindsay, you know, signed with the Cardinals for baseball. Was probably as good a football player as Jim. But the leadership was obvious from everybody. You know, that he was always an encourager, that had, you know, a good word for somebody. You know, we were going to get this done, and you know, whether it be in fourth quarter class or in fourth quarter of games, could be the one that would step in to provide the right kind of leadership. But he made big plays. He made big plays with his hands. He was a good blocker, you know, a complete team guy. Good on those reverses. The wingbacks, they ran those counters and reverses, and then they'd get the ball in the flat after faking off tackle stuff. And he was really a talented blocker. You know, they'd play him in the slot, and he'd lead Bill Burnett lead Bobby Burnett on the sweeps. I got the wrong brother.
You know who you're reminded me of right now, Clay, when you're telling the story? Yeah, I think you'll know exactly once I say his name. DeCorey Birmingham.
Oh, I was gonna say Peyton Hillis.
Yeah, same. But both of those are similar. But DeCorey played that wing back a lot and would do some of the things you're talking about. And DeCorey was one of those guys where you only had to tell him once, and you knew he was going to do it the right time. And then DeCorey made big plays, 7 overtime game, LSU game. List goes on and on.
The blocking in the hands remind you of Hillis for the modern day Razorback fan. You know, he would make those plays. You know, and they played Peyton a lot. You know, in the slot or at wing back or at tight end. They call them H-backs, but that was kind of what Jim Lindsay was before they had H-backs. They just called them wing backs in that power I. But he you know, you'd fake a sweep one way and then you'd run the counter right underneath it. But he was always able to make that lead block that would free up the tailback.
I know that we've got some sound from Jim Lindsay, and I don't know, Matt, if Colton is able to hear me, but to cue up this stuff from Best of Jim Lindsay so that we can hear from that.
Jim Lindsay is, to me, the epitome of what a Razorback's all about.
Down the sideline he goes for 28 yards.
He got a chance to wear that helmet. It was a total devotion of love for him.
He would have died trying to play for the Hogs.
Soul, not one soul that I could say felt about his school like I felt about it.
His heart and soul has been Arkansas his whole life.
It was probably about 10 years ago. My granddad was probably about 66. We were on about the 1 yard line, and my uncle JD asked him, "You think you could punch it in one more time?" He goes, "Just give me some pads, I'll get it in the end zone."
Really cool little tribute there to Jim Lindsay. You know, Clay, what do you want his legacy to be? You know, I know that JD and Lindy have done a really good job to continue the Lindsay name, but the patriarch of the family, what do you want him to be remembered for the most?
I think his giving heart. I mean, it wasn't, and I'm not talking about building facilities for the Razorbacks or giving jobs for Razorback players. I'm talking about the people that he helped in the community. I talked to Jim Watson, probably one of his closest friends, had Watson's grocery store out there where the rolling pin is now. That was his store, and then he went to work for a bank at Jim's suggestion, wanted him to be a part of Rennie Rutledge's first security system. But Jim really had some great stories about things that he had done as far as giving. One of them, he went down to Collier's drugstore and asked, you know, what do y'all do when somebody comes in and they don't quite have the money for whatever the medicine's been prescribed? And they said, well, we try to help where we can. And he goes, well, I'm going to set up a fund. And he renewed it every month. And I don't know how long that went on or if it's still going on, but he put money in a fund at Collier's for anybody that couldn't afford their medicine. I've never heard of anybody doing anything like that. And he just didn't know who those people were, but he just knew that there was a need. And he just was, of course, he was kind to me. they were among the first advertisers at Hogs Illustrated, and he wanted his ad to run across from my column, that's as much flattery as I could possibly imagine from somebody like that. That he wanted to sponsor my State of the Razorbacks column, and it renewed every year. I mean, as far as I know, it's still renewing. But he was, the giver, the one that stepped up, and he didn't wait for people to come to him. He found opportunities to take care of people that were in need. A lot of times he didn't know them, just heard about them, and he stepped up.
The number 21, should it be retired? Should there be a patch? Should there be something on the 21-yard line this year? What do we do this year? Because I'm sure there'll be something that goes on this year. What do you think is the proper
well,
revenue?
that would be appropriate to retire that number. I mean, I would go for that. I'm not usually a retirement type.
Well, Arkansas is not either. We only have two. We didn't even retire McFadden's number. He's the best Razorback in the last 25 years to wear a uniform up there.
Yeah, but you have to remember about Jim. He would not want that.
Right.
That's not. The humility was always there. But you couldn't find anybody that's helped the program more than that man. You just couldn't. I mean, I don't think that person exists, and I don't think we have any clue to how many people he's helped through the years. Thousands, and always did it under the, let's put it this way. He didn't want any recognition.
A silent servant.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he just made sure that things were taken care of.
Well, they're going to honor him in one way or another, but the
Sure.
passing of Jim Lindsay yesterday, and then being able to just talk about his legacy and what he meant, not only to the football program, but to just, everyone that he came across has been really, really cool to hear you guys share about that. So, Clay, thank you for sharing that. We're going to talk more football coming up at SEC Media Days as we roll on here in Tampa, Florida. And Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app for those who like to make a little wager on their favorite sporting event. Bet Saracen is as close as your cell phone, which I bet is somewhere near you right now. If you want to follow the odds, the favorites, underdogs, all of it, Bet Saracen is where you want to be. And for a welcome bonus, sign up and use the code WELCOME. Deposit at least $25. Place a $25 bet, and once that settles, you'll have $125 in free bets. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Halftime rolling on after this.
We are live at SEC Media Days in Tampa, Florida. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback next to Baumwalker, the largest and best Razorback shop south of the North Pole. Whether your needs are for tailgating, game day, man cave decorations, and dorm room stuff, it doesn't get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Local, family, alumni owned and operated. Shop online at shoponrazorback.com. This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
How much snow are we actually going to get?
In terms of just inches, you want me to give you an inch number, over, under? You can laugh at that. It's okay. I know you want to. You're trying to be the professional. What, 6.5?
You don't know anything about that. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Employee pricing for everyone and 0% financing on all 2026 GMC Sierra 1500s at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You pay what we pay on GMC Sierra 1500s. And for well-qualified buyers, get 0% financing or save $15,000 off on the last remaining 2025 GMC Hummer. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dealing with the CPAP every night? The noise, the constant cleaning. Is your wife telling you she can't take the noise anymore? Dr. Bo Sparkman at Valley Family Dental Practice, Fort Smith, can help you with sleep apnea with a custom dental appliance that allows you to get rid of that annoying CPAP. Dr. Sparkman has years of experience and has treated hundreds of patients just like you. Call for your appointment today, 226-3500. Get rid of your CPAP with Valley Family Dental at Riley Farm in Fort Smith and Roland, Oklahoma.
Here's NASCAR Hall of Famer Mark Martin.
As a race car driver for 40 years, I survived a lot of crashes. Not everyone can run into a wall at 200 miles an hour and walk away. Without a seatbelt, I wouldn't be alive today. Now I'm retired, back home in Arkansas driving my pickup. I'm shocked how many people aren't wearing seatbelts. Why risk your life when it only takes 2 seconds to buckle up? Take it from number 6. Buckle up, Arkansas.
A message from the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office.
Smalls here. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds can turn into sinus infections that last weeks, ruining your perfect vacation getaway. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy, it's stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy at home. It includes prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of illnesses. So if you wake up sick, at home, or on the road, you have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, and no pharmacy lines. Also, no copays. Match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor. Start meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs a medical emergency kit, so order yours online in minutes. It's shipped right to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for, only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com, RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Time with Alyssa Orange, Colton Little, and Razorback legend Matt Jones. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Now let's get back to halftime with Arkansas football legend Matt Jones, Alyssa Orange, and Colton Little.
And Clay Henry joining us as well on this Tuesday, features editor for Bull Hog Sports. Clay, you know, we've talked about this a lot. Matt has talked about this a lot, and Vanderbilt right now making their rounds here at SEC Media Days in Tampa. One of the guys they brought with them, Cedric Alexander, their running back. You look at running backs, and everyone wants to talk about the quarterback, who's the best quarterback returning right now in the SEC, who's going to be the best quarterback in the SEC. But, Matt, as you've talked about a handful of times, are we seeing a resurgence in the running back room?
I think there's a Moneyball aspect to it. I really do. They don't care what I have to say. Nobody asks me what I have to say. But if I was up there and had anything to do with the Arkansas football program, we would always have some of the best running backs in the world. That's just what we would have. If you're going to – the quarterback's best friend, and I know Clay and I, you got to have an offensive and defensive line. Yes, we'll start with that. But after we move on, before you do anything else, go get me a Lindell White and Reggie Bush. Go get me a Darren McFadden, a Felix Jones, and Peyton Hillis. Go get me a Ronnie Brown and Cadillac. What I'm saying is get me 2 or 3 running backs that are 5 stars and invest in that. Give these two running backs $1 million apiece when everybody else is just giving you $400,000. Go out there and identify. It's not that hard to identify that. Go out there, identify that, bring them in, and start your identity, because we talked about this 2 weeks ago. If you were to say what's the number one position, and then you were to say what are they known for, Arkansas Razorbacks are known for having some of the best running backs ever. That is their number one position. Continue that trend. Continue it.
Well, you go to the horses on your team, Cedric Cobbs,
Fred Talley, DeCorey Birmingham, Mark Pierce.
I mean, you just keep bringing them. Just keep bringing them. Now, you get to where it's expensive, and you're just like, we're going to spread the money around. But I would not pinch pennies when it came to running back.
Yes, sir.
And offensive linemen and defensive ends. You got to be able to put some pressure on the quarterback. But that group with that you just Talley and Pierce and Cobbs, those guys. I mean, it's like you saw one of them
was the same class I was in. Yeah.
You see him run off the field. It's like, okay, well, they're subbing. Yeah, we just got better.
It's like when Spain made a substitution in the World Cup. You're like, oh, they just brought in another good guy for another good guy.
Yeah. Well,
I was looking back through it, and the last time Arkansas had two 1,000-yard rushers on the same team, it was that Alex Collins, Jonathan Williams tandem. But
Alex, yeah.
Alex was the first running back since Darren McFadden to rush for 1,000 yards for 3 straight seasons while he was at Arkansas. And looking at it again, I think Raleigh Williams did it by himself. I think he had over
Rocket
1,300.
Sanders did it one year, yeah.
And then did Rocket do it? I know that Raheem Boyd did. I know Raheem Boyd
Maybe
did.
that's who I mean, Raheem Boyd. Maybe I thought Rocket Sanders was an All-American.
And so you look at that. They've had guys there back in the backfield, but you look at someone like Sutton Smith, who Arkansas is bringing with them on Thursday here at SEC Media Days to represent the running back room, which I love. You look at a guy like Sutton Smith, who's coming over here and joining the program and representing Arkansas. Then you look at a guy like Braylon Russell, and Braylon Russell, Niall Davis. Thank you. Grant Cook coming in clutch. Thank you, Grant.
Well, the guy we just
Niall
talked
Davis
about
was another great guy in the backfield as well. And so you add Braylon Russell. Like, can Arkansas build that backfield back up to what it used to be again in this day and age in the NIL era?
I go back to the 1975 team. Scott Bull was quarterback. They won the Southwest Conference Championship. They had Jerry Eckwood, Ben Cowens, Roland Fuchs, Michael Forrest.
all dudes.
They all were just studs after studs. Well, guess what? They won the Southwest Conference. They won the Cotton Bowl. It's not an accident. Now they had great offensive line, but I get the thoughts on Texas A&M that they've got this guy back and that guy back, but they're rebuilding an offensive line, and that's a mouthful. And we'll see. And I think that we talk a lot about the running backs and the quarterback, and this team will go as far as the offensive line takes them. And I was interested to listen to Brent Venables talk about Imarion Harris. He was never a great player at Arkansas. If he's a great player at Oklahoma, well, then that's something new. I'd be interested to see how he holds up at right tackle. But he wasn't that for Arkansas. What they've got to do is they find a left tackle and a right tackle that can help them run the ball and protect on their play action passing game.
A good offensive line, and this is something my dad's a coach, Clay. I know you and my pop. I when I was in 5th grade going to practice at 7th, 8th grade going with Pops, you know what he always said? It's like, as an offensive line, it's the only position on the field that all you have to do is get a tie. You don't have to win. You don't have to pancake. All you have to do as an offensive lineman on a run play is get a tie. You know why? And I told Alyssa this either this week or last week. Because if you're letting somebody arm tackle you, you better go to class and change your major because you're not playing to be a running back.
Yeah. Barry Switzer told me for years and years, says, we can win with offensive linemen that are average as long as they know who to block.
Mm-hmm.
Because the running back,
proper technique.
is gonna make them better. And you talk about having running backs. You can go through the list, the OU running backs that he had, in the late 70s and 80s. And it was one after another, and they would usually have 3 to 5. And that was the secret at Nebraska with Tom Osborne. He had 5 to 7 tailbacks. 5 to 7. He wanted 7. And he said that was the only way to have a solid roster. You could take some of those running backs and put them at cornerback, if they had decent speed. Fred Talley was close to being a cornerback.
That's right. You're right.
But
Corey Birmingham played slot receiver. Brandon Holmes. You know how many guys we've had start a game at defensive end, middle linebacker, and running back that I can think of? Brandon Holmes. He did that. He had 40 carries against LSU. How do we beat LSU?
Oh,
Brandon Holmes.
There was a game down there in the sleet and the rain at Mississippi State, and he carried it over and over and over and just pounded them into submission on a nasty day. He was somebody that had some nastiness. Brandon Holmes had nastiness
yes, he did.
in him. Yeah. Mark Pierce, same thing. He had some nastiness. He looked you up after he got in the open field.
That's right.
And Darren McFadden did it too.
But McFadden had speed that those guys didn't. McFadden could still run away from you.
Yeah, but if he saw somebody,
he wasn't
it's like,
scared.
I'll take you on, and you're going to come out the worst. And they did.
Well, and then what happens, and I don't know if I know you guys get this, but what happens in the middle of the third quarter after they've just tackled you for the first and second quarter, they don't come with that same energy. They don't come in here to headhunt you anymore. They're like, oh, man, I got to go tackle. And then especially if you have running back by committee, it's like, man, I got to go tackle this guy. They kind of get a little – it's just natural. It's human nature that's what happens. You just kind of wear on them a little bit, and then all of a sudden that run on 3rd and 7 that you only were going to get 8 or 9 yards on, all of a sudden it's a 40-yard run now.
You look at the running backs that are returning in the SEC from a season ago, and we had Eli Drinkowitz give us an update on Ahmad Hardy. I know we've already talked about it, that after the shooting accident that he had, that he is on the mend and should be good to go for the start of the season. He led the league last year with over 1,600 yards. You have Kewan Lacey at Mississippi, and then Jaden Ball down at Florida as well. That's just the top 3. Those guys are all back. Mike Washington had over 1,000 yards, and you've got Nate Frazier at Georgia as well. I just think we might be able to see in the league the running back kind of like we've talked about reemerge a little bit and lead some offenses, which is kind of an exciting shift and an exciting change. But I know a lot of attention is going with the quarterback room. Clay, it's another thing that I want to talk about when you look at the quarterback room. Any insight on what's happening on the Hill right now with KJ Jackson and AJ Hill?
No, I mean they're done with the serious work. They've already finished it up. They're going to get a week off, but it's a new system. I like what I hear, that this is not going to be so complex that it confuses the quarterback. There were some times where I think Taylor Green had paralysis by analysis. He's trying to think too much, and that's the danger of a new offense with quarterbacks that don't have experience, that they're trying to learn the new verbiage. They're trying to learn the new system. What's their best bailout play? In other words, when you see the defense that you don't like, what's the safe play? And the ability to change and to get that done. It's not about how many great plays that you can make. And excuse me, I'm not dissing on Taylor Green, but it's the fewest bad plays. The bad plays get you beat, and that's what Arkansas made more plays that got them beat than they could ever make to win.
And yes, you're exactly right. And I think when you're thinking too much, you're not reacting. You're not playing to your best, and it goes to other guys on our team, like a guy like Courtney Crutchfield. He's one of the best athletes on the team. Okay, so maybe it's like a Trevian Brazil thing. Trevian Brazil is one of the best athletes. But maybe it's those 6 inches. So what do? You simplify it for him, and you say, these are the 3 things we're going to have you do. And you know what? That's good enough right now. And then once he gets those, you start sprinkling in a little more. Hey, we're going to get you to do this now. We're going to get you to – but we got to start somewhere. And what happens as an athlete and as a competitor and as a player, when you make a good play, confidence really does help. And then it's contagious. Other players make good plays too, instead of let's go lead the world in fumbles over the last 4 years. That's not the recipe of how you win.
It changes the mentality, and we've talked about this. There are teams that just know how to win games, and then there are teams that are just trying not to lose. It's two very different things, and Arkansas's got to break that mentality on their side. Well, if you're running a small business relying on DIY website or just a Facebook page, that could be costing you customers, and that's where Modular Orange comes in. They're a local Fayetteville company that builds professional websites for business owners across Arkansas. So for just $95 a month, that's nothing. They'll write, design, host, and maintain your website for you for no upfront cost. And if something you needs updating, their team handles it for you. Plus, on the rise of AI search tools like ChatGPT, you want a website that actually helps your business get recommended online, and Modular Orange can help with that. So get a polished website just built in 2 to 3 weeks. Call 479-755-3043 or visit modularorange.com to get started. Also want to remind you to join us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. You can call 877-377-6963. Join in the conversation. Call us, text us as halftime continues here.
I really enjoy y'all's show. I put on the headset and get out and do my yard work and work on the porch and do whatever I need to do and listen to you guys.
This is halftime.
The Saracen Casino Hotel is now open and accepting reservations. Saracen's new 14-story hotel features 300.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Kevin Hart here to tell you all about Taco Bell's new jalapeno citrus salsa. Hey guys, I kind of feel like you're chopping off my head a little bit. I'm the money. Don't forget that. It's spicy, balanced with a sweet and tangy citrus touch that makes everything taste even better. And the best part is it comes with, I kind of still feel like you ain't got all of me. The best part is it comes with anything on the Cantina menu. So you better try it before it's gone.
New jalapeno citrus salsa, the sauce with more main character energy than Kevin Hart.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for. Only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com. RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
So I had pain in my feet for a good 20 years.
It felt like I was standing on marbles.
Something wasn't working with my feet. Was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis.
If your feet aren't comfortable, the rest of the body suffers.
So I went into the Good Feet store and bam. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support.
You put in the arch supports. To me, it was almost miraculous.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
I can run, I can walk. This is not something that you could solve online.
Reclaim the good life with the free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fence.
Stop shop with sales, service, and parts all at one convenient location. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 75 years.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You walked into the party like you were walking to a yacht. Your hat strategically dipped below one eye. Your stomach was apricot. You had one eye. You watched yourself go apart. And all the girls dreamed that they'd be your partner. They'd be your partner.
You're listening to Halftime with Alyssa Orange, Colton Little, and Razorback legend Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Join Lewis Automotive as they celebrate America's 250th celebration with the Pick One event, where it's your choice of a $250 gas card, an Arctic cooler, or a 2-year maintenance plan with the purchase of any new or used vehicle. Let's get back to the show with Matt Jones, Alyssa Orange, and Colton Little.
Clay Henry here on Halftime. About 24 minutes now until we set things free. 2 o'clock, Ruskin and Zach will take over, but we're live at SEC Media Days thanks to our friends down there at the Stadium Shop. Robert and Elizabeth, everybody go see them down there. Get your Razorback gear, only from one place, Stadium Shop down there on Razorback. It's time for a halftime hypothetical, and Matt and Alyssa, I know y'all can see it right there, what I wrote down originally. I'm calling an audible. I'm going to pull the Clay Henry, and I'm going to change the rules on my own segment.
It is your
here.
game, yeah.
I'm going to change the rules here on my own segment. You guys were just talking about running backs and the running game at Arkansas, and it kind of got me thinking about some things. And I wanted to jump into the conversation, but it was way too good for me to ruin it. So I'm going to continue that conversation right now with this halftime hypothetical.
Okay.
Say that it's the end of the year. Say things have gone really, really well for the Razorbacks. It's hypothetical here, folks. It's hypothetical. I'm not predicting. It's hypothetical. Say things have gone really well for the Razorbacks. You have a choice. The Arkansas Razorbacks can lead the country, number one overall in FBS, in rushing yards or passing yards. Which one do you choose? I'll go first. It's very easy for me. Y'all were talking about the running game. One of the biggest facets of controlling the running game is you also control the clock, the game clock. Every single time that you throw an incomplete pass, that clock stops. The clock is your friend, and a lot of times I think people view the clock as an enemy in the game of football. But if you're able to control the running game, the clock is your friend. So I would prefer, hypothetically, if Arkansas were to lead the country in either passing yards or rushing yards, I would choose rushing yards. What say you? Halftime hypothetical, 877-377-6963. And to continue on, guys, with your conversation here, the running game and making that a big part of what Arkansas does successfully is so important to what our state and the people that are in our state feel like. I think that Arkansas and the people of Arkansas, we're a blue-collar state. Running the ball is a blue-collar way to play the game of football, and that really resonates with Razorback fans. So that's another reason why I would take rushing yards over the passing yards.
Clay?
Well, you just left out half of the game. You just talked about offense. And where this team needs to go is the physical nature, and it's on both sides of the ball. Run the ball and stop the run. You do those two things, you will win. Arkansas could run it last year. They couldn't stop the run. So that's what has to improve for this team. And I get it. Your hypothetical is focused on just the offensive side. But I think that when we get to the end of the year and we look back at what this team has done, if they're successful, it's because they could run it and they could stop the run. and that's the key to football.
You know, I think of an old Man United coach named Jose Mourinho, and he was called the Special One. He's coached at Roma. He's coached at Chelsea. He's coached all over. But people, he would rub them the wrong way because his first rule of thumb was we're going to have a clean sheet on defense. We're going to know how to defend, and we're going to play defense. And then we're going to win a lot of games. But it might not be aesthetically pleasing to everybody.
It's not sexy. It's not sexy.
And that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting at. Being able to run the ball takes so much pressure off your quarterback. Do you want to know what – so, and this is just me, my 4 years playing quarterback. Do you want to know when I got to the line of scrimmage and you're doing all your checks and you know it's man coverage? I feel like I can throw it to George Wilson, Richard Smith, Marcus. I feel like we can complete anything against anybody in man coverage. So you're starting with confidence. And then it's not man coverage. Well, then we're going to run the ball with our running backs. And then as a defense – you have faith, you have success, you have the belief that, okay, I know that it's not going to be like our defense. We're going to all of a sudden we're going to have to score 46 points on offense. No, you know why? Because the defense is going to get a break. The defense isn't going to be out there for now. Yeah, sure. Sometimes you're out there extended period of times, but you know that, hey, we can control the time of possession. We're going to be fresh. We're going to be ready to go. And you know what else happens? Whenever you can run the football, the other team gets a little antsy. Mm-hmm. They're used to getting the ball. They're used to having time of possession. They're used to doing all of a sudden they've been sitting on the sideline for 7 minutes. That offensive coordinator, human nature too, they start to press a little bit. They start to mess up a little bit. No question. Don't quit trying to outthink the room. Be strong, be physical, have some playmakers on the outside, but you got to have a toughness. And then the one thing that we can't do that the last regime did, and Clay, you know this, the ball is the most precious thing out there. If we're going to turn the ball over, why are you even playing the game, man? You can't lead the country in turnovers and fumbles. That's not like, come on, man.
I love you guys. I really do.
Having turnovers is almost like putting ketchup on a hot dog.
Oh, stop. I put ketchup on my hot dog. That's rude.
It's just wrong.
Guys, I put ketchup and mustard on my hot dog.
My sister does the same thing. It's
just
okay.
tell me when you're going to do it so I can look away.
That's fine. You know what? That's fine, Clay.
Alyssa,
we can
do you have
agree
a
on
preference?
chili cheese. I did. A preference of what? The answer to our hypothetical or what I put on my hot dog?
Well, we heard the disgusting things that you put on your hot dog. I'm talking about the hypothetical.
Oh, okay. No, I do. I was getting in there. I love you guys truly, and you make a whole lot of sense. Here's the deal. I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and I'm gonna say I'd like to lead the league or the country in passing yards because it means Arkansas has finally found a quarterback again.
Ooh.
The end.
And receivers.
We know we can run the football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go find me a quarterback again, please. And if you
Ryan Mallett style.
Yes, if you lead the country yards, it means they finally found one.
That's also one of the reasons why I asked this question, because I'm at a disservice of being young and being ignorant. So my favorite eras of Razorback football were the ones that I remember as a kid, and they were extremely exciting because Ryan Mallett and Tyler Wilson were throwing for 500 yards a game at times. And like Matt said, running the ball in the running game, it's not always exactly pleasing to the eye aesthetically. But you know how we say in baseball, chicks dig the long ball? Well, in football, chicks dig the deep ball, too. They love it everybody loves it when you have that type of play, the ability to, really move around in the passing game. So, Alyssa, there's a lot of people out there I think would probably choose that as well.
Well, and I'd like to add to this. And I think one of the positions that evolved over the last 30 years in college football, not just the kickers. We all know the kickers have evolved. It's ridiculous how good these field goal kickers are. We have to change our mindset how we look at a running back, and it's not necessarily a running back having 1,000 yards rushing. It's a running back having 1,700 yards all-purpose yards. Mm-hmm. Being able to catch the ball on a swing pass, being able to catch the ball on a shovel pass, being able to catch the ball on any pass that's less than 1.7 seconds from the time the quarterback says hike, hut, go, whatever you're saying. That's a run play too. That's the invention. That's a sweep. Being able to get the ball out on the outside. So the way we look at it has to be a little bit changed a little bit. But yes, you got to be physical. You got to be tough. But running backs now, They can catch the ball out of the backfield, and they can do things in the passing game as well.
I tell you what, I just know that I can't tell you how many times I've sat on the edge of my couch and just wanted to scream at the TV. Throw the freaking ball. Throw the ball.
You're one of those.
Throw the ball downfield. I am one of those, Clay. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
gosh.
me. Just throw the ball.
I mean, I'm not watching the game with you.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
You're one of those.
But we can go eat. Yeah, we can go eat.
I'm joking. I'm joking. You know I am.
You hate me. No, I'm
No,
I'm
I
just
don't
saying.
think I've been in the press box with you. You control yourself.
I was about to
What
say,
you
no,
may
no,
be
no. I'm
thinking,
talking
you may
about at
not blurt
home.
out. Yeah.
At the press box, I am a well-mannered
Professional.
individual. Yeah, I'm a professional.
I still
I
can't get
am.
over that
At
you
home,
were once afraid of me.
I was. Man, you're scary.
I'm still afraid of Clay.
I was
Elizabeth.
gonna
It's
say,
okay.
Clay, you're kind of scary, man.
I'm
Yeah,
scary.
yeah. You're a little scary. You know.
You're intimidating.
How? What have I ever
You're
done?
Well, no.
intimidating.
No, here's the deal. No one's done anything, but I think as like a young reporter who just moves into
I heard the
Fayetteville
softball
in
story.
2013.
You did.
Right? Yes, right. Clay gonna come at you with his cleats out. That I think I joke with everyone that like you come in and you obviously got to earn your chops a little bit, and I knew that I had made it with the media and was respected with you guys when like you and Bob and Tom knew my name, and then you guys gave me nicknames, which is like even better.
I didn't.
But
give
like
you
that's a
nickname.
mark of like okay, you got to
Yeah,
gain the
but
writer's
when
respect.
You get, I just like the one when you get sunburn, you're burnt orange. I like that.
Ah,
Burnt
there we go.
orange,
There we
burnt
go.
burnt orange. Yep, that's it. That's it. Hey, we've got our final slice brought to you by Gusano's Pizzeria coming up after the break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You are very knowledgeable, and you keep it interesting.
This is halftime.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every day, Joe's Grill makes fresh from scratch salsas, queso dip, and guacamole with crispy warm chips to start your meal. Plus fajitas, enchiladas, tacos, burritos, and more that will make your experience one you won't forget. Great Tex-Mex and even better service. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, not when you work with Tara Limbird and the Limbird Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LimbirdTeam.com, LIMBIRD.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Hey, Fort Smith. Have you seen the all-new Bass Pro Shop outpost on Bass Pro Drive off Rogers Avenue? Step inside and check out the Pradco store within a store, where you can create something truly one of a kind. Pick from iconic lure shapes like the Booyah One Knocker or the Bandit 100, to name only a few. And have it custom autographed just the way you want it. It's fun, it's personal, and it's only at the brand new Bass Pro outpost. Swing by today and make your own custom lure.
Ace has always been the helpful helpful place, and now we're even more helpful by offering instant savings to Ace Rewards members. Not a member? Just sign up at Metters Lumber Ace Hardware to start saving right at the register. Right now, you can get $80 off DeWalt Atomic 20-volt brushless impact and driver kits, or $50 off select Ego outdoor power equipment after instant savings with your Ace Rewards card. Ace, the helpful place. Must be an Ace Rewards member to receive instant savings. Available through the end of the month. See participating stores for details.
Zero down and sales tax paid only at Orr Auto Park in Fort Smith. The Orr Pre-Owned Clearance event lasts until July 31st, so don't miss your chance to save big. With hundreds of pre-owned vehicles to choose from, Orr has exactly what you are looking for. But it's time for them to go and time for you to take advantage of the Orr Pre-Owned Clearance event now through July 31st. Zero down and sales tax paid. What are you waiting for? The Orr Clearance event only lasts until July 31st. Score more with Orr today.
You always get more at Orr. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Sweet it is to be loved by you. I needed the shelter of someone's arms. There you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs. There you were, with sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion. I want to stop, thank you, baby. I want to stop, and thank you, baby. Yes, I do. Sweet it is to be loved.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Welcome back as we wrap up things here on halftime. Alyssa Orange, Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Clay Henry with us. Clay, always great to be with you. Excited for you to join us again tomorrow as we continue our SEC Media Day venture into day 3. Tomorrow it's going to be a fun one, but it's time now for our final slice, brought to you by Gusano's Pizzeria. And I think, guys, my big takeaway from today is the SEC is going to have some really talented backfields. And I think that's going to be exciting. And I think it's going to change the league a little bit
Where
this
have
year.
all the running backs gone? Where's Todd Gurley? Where's Noshawn Marino? Where's Peyton Hillis? I'm with you. It seemed when you're talking about the running backs that we're talking about right now, you're kind of like, man, I think it's taken a dip over the last couple of years in running back land in the SEC, and I'm ready for it to come back up.
Why do you think that's the? Is it because players are the most talented players are playing other positions?
Yep, I think so. I think they're playing slot receiver now. You look at the receivers went up a little bit, and I think a little bit has to do with that.
Let me ask you, Matt, then, to kind of continue with that. Do you think it's also the way that the NFL values the running back?
Yes, and concussions. And if I'm a selling point and I'm talking to the mama and daddy about some kid for the running back, the number one selling point is you don't want 370 carries. You want to share the workload with a buddy. Like, you want to play for 10 years, 12 years. You only want 200 carries. You don't want 400 carries a season, but we want to get to 400 carries, and we want to have 2 running backs. You even need 3 or 4, and like Clay was saying, you need 5. You know why? Because it's a collision sport, and you're going to have injuries.
There's also a ton of dudes now that are trying to capture the essence and the hype around the dynamicness of a dual threat quarterback. There's plenty of running backs playing quarterback right now.
Yeah,
too.
there you go.
I hope it changes. I'm ready for some more bully ball. Truly.
We'll go against the grain a little bit. Everybody's getting lighter at linebacker. They're getting lighter and to get faster in defensive end or what. So get back to having some big nasties at your offensive line and firing off the ball and being able to run the game. Be a little bit more contrarian.
So our running back, the Braylon Russell, what's the right number of carries for him per game? I mean, what would you – because I haven't seen him be able to
17.
hold up.
15, 17 touches. That means one game he might have 24 and one game he might have 12, but 15, 17 touches a game.
I think that's fair.
I like
And a
that
balanced
number.
attack with Sutton Smith back
But
there.
he's got to
also.
have another guy that if that's who it is. Yep.
Thunder and lightning type duo with Sutton Smith. You got to have both of those guys that are able to touch the ball, like you said, Matt, 10, 15 times a
Mhm.
game. Takes pressure off a quarterback that's unproven.
And then they're fresh the entire game.
Well, the best backfields, they've got 4. We've named them McFadden, Hillis, Felix Jones, and they had Michael Smith, who was not a bad change of pace.
That was
Yeah.
Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams, and they had Brandon Jacobs. They had another guy.
Yeah, and you go back to that 75 team with the 4 guys that I named. I mean, and 2 of them were hurt during part of the year, which they didn't miss a beat because they had the right kind of depth. Jerry Eckwood, he had a really good first half of the season and then hurt his knee and wasn't effective, but they didn't miss a beat because of their depth.
Well, that's going to do it for today's Final Slice, brought to you by our friends at Gusano's Pizzeria, bringing you the perfect slice made with only the freshest ingredients. And if you're looking for the perfect place to watch the game, grab dinner with the family, or even meet up with friends, Gusano's is the place to be. And some of them even have trivia, which I love. Always hanging out doing some trivia there. Catch happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 7 with $1 off drafts, wine, and well drinks. Gusano's. Check them out. It's pretty dang good. Hey, wrapping up SEC Media Days tomorrow on tap. Alabama, Florida, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M, and much more basketball news to talk about as well as we continue on here at SEC Media Days. I'm excited. We talked a little bit about A&M. Kalen DeBoer here tomorrow as well. Ole Miss. I love what Chessa said, guys, earlier. Let's see if Ole Miss and Pete Golding going to fire some shots towards LSU.
Some people think they got the best quarterback in the SEC, so Ole Miss got a little talent. Alyssa,
Good
hey, great
defensive
work
line.
today.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for some drama, Alyssa. The most we've gotten so far is Heupel trying to incite some violence against Lane Kiffin upon his return, which, like I said yesterday, don't put weight into what these people say up here.
Hey, we're all just sitting here waiting to see what Lane Kiffin rolls in
That's right.
wearing on Thursday. Doing that rotation with Arkansas. But it should be a fun one. Again, Alabama, Florida, Ole Miss, Texas A&M here at SEC Media Days. Our trip here brought to you by the Stadium Shop. Thanks so much for joining us here on Halftime. Ruskin and Zach on tap. Enjoy your Tuesday, everybody.